dialed in to Box and Brews, you might hear something you can use. Like tips on your cash or tips on the suds. You're gonna want to use the smarts of these studs. Cause they know the brews, and they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks. So listen up, cause shit's not funny. And save yourself some beer money. Bucks and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks and brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. Nick, you had a fun little time trying to get here, didn't you?
Let's say, welcome to Nick's life real quick. I'm glad we had a late start today.
No kidding, right? Thank you, Brent, for that. So let's introduce our guest before we talk about what we're drinking, man.
Yeah.
So we have the great Brent Ashcroft. We at least think he's great because he runs the two biggest Star Wars events in this area. So,
Yeah.
He's come to talk coins with us. And, I mean, we like money, so we want to know about coins, right?
Coins, paper bills, because we have questions.
We do have questions
from another person.
Brent has said if he can't answer it, then we're just gonna have to do a second episode.
Oh, that's right. Let's say I'm always down for a second episode. You know me.
So, Brent, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for we started talking about this 6 months ago, and we're finally making it happen. So I'm thrilled to be here with you guys.
I blame you for that.
You should. I had this thing called a non-compete clause in my TV contract that would not allow me to do any type of work like this for 6 months after I left my TV world. So I had to honor that.
And took that honor in the first appearance he's doing.
Yeah.
Bucks and Brews, right? Like he went from like way up here to like
way down there.
We're sure classing this place up quite a bit.
Yeah, you did.
So Brent, what are you drinking tonight?
Perrin, some IPA. Somebody brought this into the Grand Rapids coin store earlier today. It's kind of a gift to us for doing a coin collection appraisal. I'm not sure what it is, but it's like some sort of an IPA from Perrin. So, I'm almost halfway done, so I'm going to have to be stealing some of yours here if I'm going to be around here for much longer. So,
not a problem. Nick?
Say tried and true, the blue can, maybe Bud Light. And say I had to stop and I had 20 seconds to make a decision, and that's my go-to.
And that's your go-to. I actually have beer tonight.
Really?
Yeah, I do have Night to Shoots, non-alcoholic black beer, because I do like that, but I also have Reds.
Good. And I was gonna get some Reds, but I was like, no, I'm gonna just literally. Sorry, my work is still going.
It's still going. Yeah,
but at least we found the leak, so that's gonna be a good leak on my pool.
Is that what's going on?
Well, so that's what's going on in my personal life, and then my business life is just millions of phone calls. I mean, I always tell people I'd love to compare their cell phone versus my cell phone. I mean, this is just today's, right? I'm still scrolling.
That's all of your communication just today.
Right? So, yeah, and then yesterday's goes same damn thing. Like it's just, I mean, I don't know, like I feel like a fucking telemarketer, right? Because I probably make more get more phone calls or give more phone calls than they do.
I sent you a nice phone call from one yesterday.
That was kind of fun. Honestly, I really enjoyed that. So you mentioned it's called Grand Rapids Coin Company?
It's called Grand Rapids Coins, yes. Okay. It started, well, it's been around for a little over 10 years. Okay, it was called Mullen Coins at first, but it's been a website / eBay store driven entity for a very long time. And then finally, middle to late last year, Ben Soldat, who was the owner and a friend of mine, just came to a point where he's tired of working 100 hours a week because you're doing 5 coin collection appraisals a day, and then in order to make money to buy more coin collections from people, you have to flip that stuff on eBay and keep the wheels churning, right? You got to keep money, you got to stay solvent. And it just became too much. So what he ended up doing was starting a storefront in Rockford. And I was to a point last year where, there just wasn't enough juice left to squeeze out of TV for me after 31 years. And always been into collectibles, always enjoyed it. And coins was something that I kind of got into when I was 9 and then got away from it because of sports and girls and high school and everything. But I had somewhat of a base knowledge of it. And he took a gamble on me, wanted to bring me in. I'm his only full-time employee, and we have a store up in Rockford now, and we're having a great time evaluating coin collections, selling gold and silver bullion, trying to help people, expand their portfolios. Diversity is key. Diversity is key. I'm sure you guys have talked about it.
We do talk about diversity quite a bit.
Diversification diverts, so that's what you need to do.
Is it coin collections or was it TV? I mean, there's a Ferrari sitting outside, guys. Just let you know. I was just like, I don't understand who has this kind of money. But no, so we talk about it. Like I had a guy who used to buy a silver round every week or two of them, depending on the price. And you have a $20-25 budget. I don't know what the price on silver is right now. But his spot would be, he'd buy a spot in $12 or whatever back in the day, and I know he sold at like 17 or something. He just made a big pile every that was his investment every week.
Yeah, we pay attention to spot price on gold and silver every day. It's one of the first things we wake up in the morning dealing with. It's gone up over, and when it opened for the day, what's it doing? Because it kind of sets the table of how we go about it. Because every different gold bullion or silver bullion coin has a different premium to it. Okay, so if you want to just buy a silver bullion coin or a round, okay, there's a difference between a 1 ounce 999 1 troy ounce silver round and a 1 troy ounce 999 silver coin. One of them is a sovereign item. There's going to be more of a premium to that. The round, we're at like $5 over spot right now. So if you came into Grand Rapids Coins tomorrow, depending on what spot is, let's just, for the sake of argument, say silver spot is probably right around where it closed at today, which is about $20.40 an ounce.
Wow.
So you're going to pay right around $25.50, 25 and a quarter for a generic 1 ounce, 1 troy ounce, 999 silver round. If you want to get a sovereign coin, then you're looking at $6.50 over. Canadian Maple Leafs are $7.50 over. And the American Silver Eagles, which are the really big ones that everybody's into, those are $12 over spot. Wow. There's a lot of demand for those right now. So you're looking at probably $32-33 a coin on those. So it's just interesting when you get into it, you have to really have knowledge about that kind of stuff, or you can find yourself in serious trouble if you don't try to stay close to the spot price.
Well, and coins are like any other commodity. I mean, they move minute by minute.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, we talk about the market quite a bit because we're always investing here, there, and everywhere. And really, it's kind of the same thing. You buy coins, it's silver or gold. Gold price goes up, you make more money. Gold price goes down, you make less money.
Yeah. And so now when you guys buy back, I mean, are you buying at spot or below spot?
We're usually a % over. I mean, we're % or two over when we buy the stuff wholesale. I mean, when stuff comes in off the street, that's different. We'll sometimes just pay what spot is, or maybe a buck over, because we have to build in some profit margin for us, or we're not going to be in business for very long, right? So, but when we buy wholesale stuff, we usually buy it for about 2% over, and then we add another 2% on top of that when we sell it. So at the end of the day, we're coming out, 2-3% ahead when people come in to buy this stuff. So I didn't know about any of this stuff until about a year ago. And it just fascinates me how many people are into this and how many people are stacking silver and stacking gold. And right now, silver is like sale, man. It's like blue light special Kmart. You're not going to, 3.5 months ago, before the war broke out in Ukraine, silver was at a little over $26 an ounce. It has dropped $6. It's actually dropped closer to $8. About a week and a half ago, it was under $18 an ounce for a little bit. And that's the lowest silver was per ounce. You have to go back pre-pandemic to find that.
That's what, before the pandemic, when I had my job, I mean, I think we were buying at 12, 13, and
yep.
I think he sold at 16 or something, because he's just like, that's $4, I'm not going to risk it. And now he probably is kicking his butt. The same guy that had a Patrick Mahomes, like one of 10, and we got $1,000 over what like the lowest price was. I think he sold $3,500, and I was like, it's eBay. We'll see if these people actually pay. They paid literally 3 months later, this thing sells for it was like 25,000. We go back on, it's like 9. Like it just blew my mind how much this guy could have gotten. I don't think it hit 100,000, but it was like 60-some thousand. I was like, that pays for your house quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, yep. I was like, but how you wanted to sell it? You said you'll take this. And originally, we thought we were gonna get $3,000 for it or whatever. And
Well,
it was
yeah.
a free pack for him, which was funny.
The price of collectibles have just got through the roof, especially the last 3-4 years through the pandemic.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it last week on the episode. I saw Carrie Fisher 3 months before she passed away. I spent $60 on an autograph.
Yeah.
You can't find one for less than 500.
Yeah, and that's it's crazy because I don't get into. You guys do stamps or you just coins?
No, a lot of people call us with stamp collections, and the thing with stamps is that there literally is no young people getting into that hobby.
Right.
So what's happening is people are dying off that had stamp collections or had their dad's stamp collections, and now they're being handed down to our generation, right? And there's nobody coming in to do that.
Yeah.
So when people call us or they email us or whatever about stamps, we just tell them, I'm like, okay, here's what I would suggest you do. Call the Grand Rapids Museum and see if anybody down there might be interested in taking a look at what you have, because they do archives. I mean, you might have some historical stuff in there that maybe they don't have that they might want for their archives, and they'll probably pay you for it.
Yeah.
Or check on Facebook, see if
Mhm.
there's stamp collecting communities out there that you can join, and then you're in kind of with that community, even though it's small, but at least you're able to speak about what you have, and maybe there's somebody in there who will understand it and want it.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I think you said it like perfect. Is I go on TikTok and I see people opening rolls of coins on a constant basis. There's people, these young kids and my age and David's age, and you're just finding this fact of, oh, hey, if you have this penny, it's worth 10 grand. So like I'm seeing people like, oh, hey, I go to the bank every day. Well, more often than most people. And my one teller, she just has like a little stack of things that she's buying every day. And it's just like, oh, you just got a quarter that's worth $10 for, 25 cents, because the bank only looks at it as money of the actual currency, right? They don't look at it for its actual value you put on.
Well, not many people know. I mean, unless you start Googling it, you really immerse yourself in it, but you have to have a reason to do that. Okay. Nobody's just going to do it. But, here's a couple of tips I'll give to your audience and to you guys. I mean, every single quarter, let me start over. Every single dime, quarter, and half dollar that was struck by the United States Mint, 1964 or earlier, each one is made of 90% silver. So, yeah, it's a dime. You can go to any gas station or Meijer or wherever you want to go and spend it at face value. But we'll give you $1.50 for that dime. We'll give you $8.50 for that half dollar, because there's that much silver in there, and then we'll sell it for 10.5.
Mhm.
We'll give you, right now we're paying $4 for 1964 and earlier quarters. So if you've got bags of this stuff, don't be spending it. Don't put it back. Don't put, you could bring it to us, and we'll provide you with way more money for it than what the face value of any of it is, because there's silver purity in that coin.
Will you sort? So one of the big things is like reactions from coin people. Coinstar, right? Is that what it's called?
Oh yeah, that's stupid.
The place that rips you off for a percentage to not roll your
That's
coins.
probably something you would do.
Oh, I would never once use Coinstar. I wish that's a lot of money to me.
Which shocks me, because you won't pick a dime up
I
off the
won't pick
ground.
It's not worth my time.
You will now that you know that it could be 1964.
No.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Still won't do it.
All right, Bill Gates.
I don't have that. I don't have the chances and the luck of that type of a thing. But,
Yeah.
so like if I bring in a jug of stuff, are you guys going to go through that, or is something I have to do?
No, we'll go through it. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, it depends. I mean, there are no rare Roosevelt dimes. Not one. There's not one that was low minted. Therefore, it's got high numismatic value. So you bring us in, 1948 to 1964 jug of Roosevelt dimes. We're just going to run those through the coin counter. It'll tell us in 10 minutes later. It'll say you got 780 of them there, and then we'll give you $1.40 for each one, or whatever spot price is for that, and we're done.
But what if I have like just a jug that my grandparents have, and they've been throwing their change in it for years and years, And I mean, it has 2010, 2020, stuff like that. I mean, will you guys sort through all that?
It all depends. You know, if you call it, we do appraisals by appointment. So what you would want to do is call us ahead of time and get on a calendar on a specific day at a specific time, and then that way you either get me or Ben to sit down with you and go through your collection with you.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, we could dump it all out then, and we could parse out all of the spendable dimes, which is everything from 1965 to today.
Yep.
Every single dime from 65 to today is worth 10 cents. There's nothing worth anything more than that. Okay. And then we'll pull out all the ones that are 64 and earlier, and you can take your spendable ones and put it in your gas tank, and then we'll figure out how many of the 64 and earlier ones, and we'll give you a premium for it. That's just how it is.
Honestly, I think you gotta restate that because he's not telling you to actually put it in your gas tank. I heard this new Coca-Cola thing where like you put
Yeah, put the actual dimes in your gas tank.
Oh my
I mean,
people would think that literally
people did eat Tide
Tide
Pods.
Pods. Jesus Christ! I mean, that's what these millennials. I was like, don't you dare.
Well, okay, old people wanted to shoot bleach into their veins, so I'm just saying.
Or what's the horse venom crap about? Like, you know, I mean, I don't get it. You know, we're now okay. We have a million questions. I'm very excited to have you on. I know David has some, but I always love to cut David off.
Yeah,
because
you
who I
cut
am.
me off all the fucking time.
So, the greatest coin you've ever seen walks in your shop.
Oh man, I've only been there 6 months. A couple of people have come in, brought in their grandfathers or fathers' penny book. They have no idea what's in there, and we open it up, and there's a 1909 SVDB. I don't know if you ever heard of that coin or not, but it is the rarest Lincoln penny there is.
Really?
First year of the Lincoln penny was 1909. Okay. And they started it that year because that was his 100th birthday. Okay. So S means it was minted in San Francisco. So you have, back then with pennies, you had Philadelphia Mint, Denver Mint D, San Francisco S. So the 1909 S BDB was if you flipped the penny over on the 1909 S and you looked at the very bottom underneath the two wheat stalks and you saw the initials BDB, there was only 250,000 of those minted. Now, why is that? I have no idea, but it was an incredibly low minted coin. You can't have a complete Lincoln penny set without one, and most people can't get one, but somebody walked in. Thing is there's a lot of counterfeits of those types. You have to be able to get that thing under a microscope and look at it closely and make sure that you see certain nuances on it that are in line with what an actual, genuine one is. And I would say at this point, that's, we've seen a couple of those come in just in book. People didn't know what they were. And, I think we gave them $700-800 for it. They were floored, but we're floored to see that kind of stuff come in off the street, But I'd say at this point, that's probably the rarest one I've seen come into the store. Yeah.
And so now, is it the coolest one though?
No, I've seen some the other day, I forgot what it was. I just put it on eBay. I was digging through the table of stuff to start listing on eBay, and I found some foreign coin from colonial times from the 1600s.
Oh,
I'm like, this is interesting. It's 1694, coin. Ben must have gotten it in an appraisal, but just didn't get a chance to put it away or whatever. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna Google this and see what it's. It's going for a couple $1,000. So I listed it, of course, and I'm like, it's kind of it's just interesting the history that's attached to this, because if you want a history lesson, just follow the money. Follow the money. What movie was that from?
I don't show me the money. Sure.
There's a show
about.
me the money. Yeah. So I don't know. There's a follow the money out there from a movie line too. I think it was All the President's Men from 1976 talking about.
I watched that movie like 4 months ago.
Did you really?
I did really. I'm gonna cut Nick off.
Yeah.
Fuck Nick. So a couple 3 weeks ago, Brent, I saw you post about a $1,000 bill and a $500 bill.
Yeah.
And we did an episode that night at the great Steve Henderson's house, and he mentioned that he knew somebody that might have bills like that.
Yeah.
And
Just sitting around.
And so tell us a little bit about the 500 and the 1,000, because I know they're not made it.
Yeah, neither of them are. They both, they were made back in the 1940s. Okay. And they were in circulation back then and through the 40s and the 50s. But President Nixon decided that there was going to be no $500 or $1,000 bills in circulation anymore back when he was in office in 1971 or 72. I can't remember what year it was, but he decided to have them all yanked out of circulation because the mob was able to use those to launder money. Yeah, imagine that. I mean, it's a lot easier to just carry a small little thing full of $1,000 bills than a suitcase full of 20s and 10s, right? So, they all got pulled out of circulation 50-ish, 52 years ago. Okay. And, now they're hard to get. I mean, there's, most of them are gone. So if anybody had them and hung on to them, they are highly sought after by collectors. And again, I mean, occasionally we'll have somebody come in with one, but that particular day, we had 2 separate appraisals we were doing. One of the collections had 1,000 and a 500 in it, and then the very next appraisal that came into the store after that had another 500 in it. So it's like, you don't see these things ever. You hear about them. They're this thing of legend and myth in the collectible world, and then 2 appraisals back to back come into the store, and each of them have it. So we paid about $1,200 for each one of the 500s, and
Wow.
yeah, I mean, way over face value for it. And then the $1,000 bill, I believe we paid $2,200 for. So it was more than twice face. But we just sold that one to a guy on the east side of the state for $3,300.
Okay.
So
This is great return on equity here.
I say I wouldn't even call it an investment, I guess.
No.
I mean, that's good margin. That's good profit margin, boys.
I seen them when I was a kid, very young. And of course, like as a young kid, I thought they were fake because I've never seen this stuff before. And my dad he's like, "Oh, you're real, like this is back in the day." And I'm like, "Yeah, this is bullshit," right? He probably just got done telling me, that if you want to get a tapeworm out of your system, you put an apple on your tongue and hold it there, and then you pull it with right. So you never knew like what was actually true. And this guy walked in and he's like, "Oh, check these out." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, cool." Like everybody, prints fake money. Like Monopoly has it too.
I'm gonna ask this of you.
Yeah.
Does Archie have any of these laying around?
Dude, I probably bet he would. I'm gonna start
You need to talk to your grandpa.
I'm gonna be there Friday. I gotta reschedule that.
Yeah.
Let's say sorry.
Bring the collection in. Let's get on the calendar. See what he's got.
No, yeah. It's like, so it's one of those where, if you looked at things you'd find value. But I don't know what he has. Sorry, I'm making myself notes.
That way you don't forget to do shit.
Yeah.
You guys aren't old enough for this kind of stuff yet, are you?
I don't know. I'm
making notes. I have to do that.
I turned into an old fuck. I'm 45 now.
Let's say I turned 34, and like I've been. If you ask my wife, she'll tell you one of her biggest pet peeves is one of my favorite things in life. I fucking love sticky notes. I mean, if you walk through my house, people will be like, "Why is there a sticky note on the refrigerator? Why is there a sticky note on your?" Like, if you look at the front of my car, it might not be there right now, but like right where the airbag would be, there's a sticky note sitting there because it's like that's what I have to do here, there, and people will walk into my office like, "Why is there so many sticky notes?" And I was like, "Because that means I have to read those, like, and they're going to be somewhere." And that's probably something I had to do. And if there's a big check mark on it, you're welcome to throw that one away because that means that's done.
Yeah.
Otherwise, like,
yep.
I have no idea.
Nick is the oldest young man you'll ever meet.
Oh
And
my
he
God.
literally goes to the bank on the first of every month with a stack of fucking dollars to pay his mortgages. Nick's a
$1 bill. $1 bills.
I'm sure he takes hundreds, but
20s, 100s, 10s. I don't give a
But he goes with a stack because he's a landlord, so he has a lot of properties, and that's how he pays every month because he doesn't trust setting up online payments.
Well, let me fucking look at it right now. Right now is a prime example of why banks can suck my ass. Like, I have lived the past.
Have you gotten a debit card
No.
yet?
No, I've lived the past week. Okay, things that people don't know about me. I am the opposite of the average American, right? The average American overspends on their credit and debit cards because, right, they don't see it. You guys want to take a scam call?
Absolutely.
Let's fucking do this. Hey, welcome to Bucks and Brews. This is Nick. Hello. Hello. Come on, don't hang up on me. Damn it. We were trying. Sorry, we like to do scam calls. They're more fun this way. And so, you know, I got my credit card. You came over to the house. It was like Thursday of last week or something. And they're like, hey, did you approve this $0 transaction? I was like, no, but sure. Like $0. There's $0 and 0 cents. Clear about that. Nothing transaction. I was like, no. Did you approve this 25-cent transaction to this company? And I was like, no. Like, I mean, I just bought a beef stick for 69 cents. Like, that's the cheapest thing I think I've ever bought. And God knows how long.
And did it taste amazing?
It was the greatest moment of my life. That was my dinner tonight, right? I'm not gonna lie to you. And so I'm sitting there, I was like, nope. And then they asked me about like 4 other transactions. And it was funny because like 3 of them were bar tabs. And they're like, I was like, yep. I was like, you don't have to call me a fucking alcoholic on here, okay? Like, I get my bar tabs right. And like, okay, so since you're the 25-cent thing, we're gonna cancel your card and you no longer have access to funds. I'm like, it's 5:45 on a Thursday night. Where the fuck am I supposed to get money? And I was like, all right, I have cash in my pocket. I'm literally out of the $500 that I had in my. Being opposite. Like, I spend cash. If I have cash, that's liquid to me. Like, it's not counted for in my bank accounts. I don't keep track of it. Like, it is literally just, this is Nick's fun money, right? So, you know, I had to go to the bank today. I grabbed another $1,000. If I pulled money in my pocket, I'm really down to like $600, and I've only had it for like 6 hours. And you're just, oh yeah, it's cash. I don't care.
We went to get ice cream that night, and he hands his card to the poor girl.
Oh, yeah.
And she goes to run it, and he goes, "Wait, don't run that.
Yeah. So you're not.
Can you break 100?"
Yeah.
Like a $10 ice cream bill for him and his daughter.
She's like, yep. And I was like, it's insane. But like, I'm so irritated. Like, that's why I don't trust banks, right? Because like, I need 2 seconds, I can get hacked, and now I'm left without money for 10 business days.
You know, if that happens at my bank, I walk in the door and they just bring me a new card.
So so it was funny.
Maybe that's because your password is beer.
And beer 01.
Question mark.
Question mark, right? Like question mark? No, it would never be a question. It should be $ beer, right? But like, so it's kind of been bothering me because people will be like, oh, if that's the one thing that you're telling me that your bank offers, like we were talking about it, and I was like, I don't want a bank that just can give me a fucking card. Like, that's a cool feature. It's fine to have. But I just sat with a bank this morning. I'm sitting again Thursday with a commercial department because I'm like, look, I wanna be able to buy houses, and I don't want my debt income to come to this thing. I want this, I want that. I was like, I'll put 75% down as long as we start building a relationship where you're gonna start lending me money to buy houses. I was like, I literally, and I told him, I was like, look, I've shelled out X amount of dollars in the past like months for stupid stuff. I have to go to get a home equity line of credit on my house, right? I owe a little bit of money. I mean, I think I'm down to 70. Okay? I have multiple times that and sitting in bank accounts, and it's with this one bank, and they wouldn't give me $100 or $100,000 line of credit, and I'm like, I can repay this 5 times over, literally 5 times over. You see the money sitting there; it's been there for X amount of years. You know I'm not going to spend. Like, why can't I get this line of credit? Oh well, this, and I was like, no, like that. I want the bank and I to be a partnership because again, we talked about it. I don't care how much it is, right? $100,000 is going to go to 2 cards. It's lent out to you 2 guys. We're going to go finance them. They're giving me 0.001%, and they're charging you 3%, 4%, whatever it is. Like, they're making money off of my money. So I want you to give me something. I even told the lady, I was like, I'm paying 10% for hard money right now. Charge me 6. I don't give 2 shit. Like, you're going to save me 4% from having to go sit here and do this. And I brought up this point. I had so much money lent out a month ago. I went and bought a $110,000 house, right? I had the cash, but it would have dropped me to like where I don't want to be comfortable. I'm going, I had to go borrow hard money. I had to go pay 10%, which I'm getting 10% on my money. But I'm just going, I literally broke even because I don't have the cash sitting around. And I was like, I want a bank to build a relationship. So yes, am I inconvenienced right now on a debit card? As much as I bitch about things, like I take it, right? Like I'm already sitting down with 2 banks to sit here and go, what can you offer me? Because I'm tired of this.
So love this story, but let's reel it back in because
No.
Brent for a limited amount of time.
How much you're gonna give me like 6 hours, right?
Yeah, that's right. I'll be here till midnight. You know, we're gonna play all the hits. We're gonna spin all the hits.
To say, yeah, no, and no, and the other question that came out of the best thing that came into your shop, is there anything in your shop that you guys won't sell? Like, is there a value or something that's special to you guys that you won't sell?
No, everything in there
Has a price.
has a price. I mean, it just matters, you know, it just comes down to what people are interested in. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we get from these coin collection appraisals are garden variety stuff. Right? People bought mint sets and fruit sets to, you know, christenings of their this or that, or birthdays, so that their son can grow up and they can have a, you know, coin set from 1990, the year that they were born. Well, you know what? Here's the thing: people are bringing all those in now as part of these. You know, Dad passed away, so now all these are coming in. Dad probably paid $25 for that back in 1990 because he bought it off of QVC at 2 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
And you know as well as I do that the premiums and the prices that they put on that stuff is insane.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we're probably going to give you $2.25. Because there's no precious metal in any of those coins, because as we discussed earlier, 1964 was the last year silver was put in any American coinage. So if you're going to give me a mint set from 1990 that's got a $50, quarter, nickel, dime, penny in it, you know, I'm going to give you face value for what the coins are, and maybe 10, 20 cents beyond that because it's in this neat little acrylic case. And then people are like, well, wait a minute, you know, this costs, you know, $20, you know. Well, you know, sorry. Somebody, you know,
There's a sucker born every day. Baby.
Yeah, and you know, that's you know, those things just sit on a shelf in the back room. Nobody's coming in our store looking to buy that stuff. We have to get creative then with it to figure out how we're gonna unlock.
So you're telling me if I know somebody that might have bought grain at one.
Right about what?
Grain. It's another story. That has an entire set of the stupid fucking steak quarters.
Oh yeah,
They're worth 25 cents a piece.
They are
right?
worth 25 cents a
Really?
piece.
These commercials they sell you on these.
Isn't
things.
that amazing?
So you would say like the worst investment you can make is into these sets and things that they have.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I would never buy anything off of the back of a magazine or a Reader's Digest or off of QVC on late night TV. Do not do it, because they are so obscenely overcharging you. And the coins that you see that they're showing you on TV are probably 100% not the ones that you're going to receive. And you're not smart enough to know the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody like me who's in the industry, I would know right away. And you're getting way less value than what you paid for. You may get the coin they said, but you're going to get one that's been cleaned, one that's been dipped, one that's been, as you know, that's garbage.
Yeah, 'cause talk about that type of thing.
You can't clean your coins.
This Buffalo nickel is out, or the the whatever is out for a limited time, and you know you get all this.
You can pay $29.95 today, and it'll be worth $800 in a week.
Well, they don't tell you how much it's gonna be worth because that's illegal. But like they do. Oh, the Buffalo nickel never been released until today, and it's like the Sacagawea quarter, and I was like, fuck, I just we're going to talk about. So gold coins. Do you guys do anything like the new dollar coins?
The Sacagawea dollars, the presidential dollars, the gold looking coins.
Yep.
You mean the coins that people call us all the time and say, I've got gold coins?
Yeah.
And we have to say, okay, yeah.
Put
So
them in the Pepsi machine.
we always have to kind of call them off the ledge. Well, first of all, let me ask you a couple questions to see if you do have gold coins. Okay, number one, and when you look at the coin, is there like a woman on the front of it that has like a feather haircut? Yes. It is worth $1. Every single one of them. They stopped making those, I believe, in 2013. But they're still in circulation. If you go to a downtown parking ramp in Grand Rapids, and you know what I'm talking about, you got to pay your $8 to park,
Yeah.
And then you put in a $10 bill, you're going to get 8 Sacagaweas back.
Yep.
I have 2 quick stories about that. One, I was working at Steelcase, and I don't know how it happened, but one of the guys was like, hey, if you go put money into the change machine, for every $1, it puts out 4 $1 coins. He must have dumped the wrong bag in, and I was like, shit. I put a 5 in, and expecting 20 coins to come out. It works. I have $20, and I put in it ran out of money, and for some reason my dumbass is pissed that I only got 2 coins, even though I put a buck in. I'm like the last one, and I was like, oh wait, I just made a crap ton. The other thing was at the Granville Mall back when those first came out, they were offering $25 worth of coins, trading your $5 bills or whatever, and so you could buy $25 for $20. And so I'm no mathematician, but I just sat there and I was like, yes, please. Yes, please. Like I kept turning in 20s and I was like, I go turn them into somebody else and was like, hey, give me a new 20. And so and they're like, well, all right, we can't keep selling you. And I was like, why? This is literally what I said. I was like, I'm gonna do this all fucking day. Like I know officially how I'm making my $1 million, right? And I was like, you as many times as you want to repeat this process, I will do it. And then I don't know, they stopped me at like $100 or something. I was really pissy about it because I was like, literally, this is the greatest thing. They're like, oh, we're trying to have a green environment. I was like, I'm trying to be green. Like literally, I'm just want to be Scrooge McDuck, like a big vat full of gold coins. I'm gonna jump into like this would be huge. But yeah, it was like $100.
Same thing with Susan B. Anthony dollars. I don't know if you guys remember those at all.
If you have them,
they're worth a buck a piece.
Yeah, cool. Start buying it for me. I'll give you I'll give you like $1.06.
We've got like a huge tub full of them.
How much are you selling for?
Well, right. I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look.
Okay, let me know because like this is not. So this is actually just for me.
Probably a buck 30 a piece is probably what we would sell. But we buy them for $1.10 a piece, so we got to build in a little bit of a margin, you know that. So, but anyways, the end of the day, I mean, those are spendable money too. Yeah, they're worth $1. You know, people bring them in, and we got so many of them, and like I said, there's nobody coming in to buy them. You know, if I put 100 of them on eBay, after eBay takes their 9% on the back end, I'm not making enough.
Oh, you're listing it wrong.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a quick free tip.
Please do.
So I'm a magician. I don't know if you know this about me. And actually, Michigan, you should be going to Colin.
Oh, it's the 84th get together.
So magicians. So if you ever watch Penn and Teller, so Teller does one amazing trick where he takes and he makes it appear. So they use those, and so then so now you're dumping 100 of them into a bucket, and you're dumping them into the water, and each of them is goldfish. Start marketing as a magic gimmick, and people will buy them because that's exactly that's why I want them.
Susan B. Anthony's market them as a magic gimmick.
Yeah, like the big ones, right?
Yeah.
So the full size, yeah. So that's exactly because we want a Bitcoin that people can see. We want to be able to do this, and I don't get my hands on them. Like I go to the bank and I'm like, hey, do you have one and stuff like that? Yeah, that's exactly what you should do because people will buy them now that you have a magic gimmick to it, right? So
wow. So I can put those out there for like $29.99, and somebody will buy a Susan B. Anthony dollar for that much money.
I don't know about
because
that,
you could,
if you get a bulk 100, I mean, even if you're telling me you make 30 cents, so or whatever it is, if you did 100 of them and you're making $50, I mean, right now you're telling me you're making 20 cents. Like that's a heck of a lot.
Well, I'm telling you right now, we're making zero because in 7 months that we've had that store open, not a single human being has come in that store asking to buy a Susan B. Anthony.
When you list it on eBay as like 100 lot and it sells for good money, take me out to a beer.
This is why we make no money at this because literally we're like, yeah, give us a beer.
I'll just trade you a beer, right? So no, I mean, and that's because I know a lot of magicians like, oh man, I really want this and I want to do this and. All right, what can I use instead of this coin? But if they know they can pay the dollar aspect for it, and the sound it makes, the hard clink, everything about it.
I did a story when I was in my TV. I think it was 3 years ago. I went down to Cole and I did a story on the street of cards.
There you go. Yeah.
Remember? You go out there in front of the pizza shop and you just flip cards into the street, and the cops don't care for 3 days. It's legal littering.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Your goal is to get it on the roof.
Yes.
So I'm headed down Thursday.
Oh yeah.
To see some of my buddies. And so I'm really excited about that. My wife, I was like, hey, you want to go Thursday? She's like, I want to. And I was like, I'm letting you know I'm going Thursday. Like I'm a friend. I love doing it. The smile you get on people's faces is where it's at. But yeah, I'm so excited to just go through. And our buddy owns the pizza parlor, and the best chicken fingers you've ever had is right there at the VFW bowl. So and breaded.
So I got a question. Fuck you. So silver certificates were a thing.
Silver certificates were a thing.
So
what is a silver certificate?
They were basically dollar bills that said silver certificate.
And there was a time when you could exchange them to get silver.
Right.
but that's
$1?
gone now.
Okay.
Yeah, they
They're
were
not-
on other bills too.
Yeah.
There were silver certificate 10 notes, 5 notes, but you have to go back into the like early 1920s, 19 teens to find those.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So I know
And
some.
how much did they pay for them back in the day? Like, was it face value?
Yeah, it was face value.
Yeah,
It was a $1 that it was like $1 that you have in your wallet right now, except it said silver certificate on the top.
Oh shit!
Absolutely.
So I know somebody that ran around like 10 years ago just spending them willy nilly.
Wasn't me.
They're not worth that much.
Were they worth more than $1?
We pay $1.10 a piece for them, sell them for $1.30. However, the star notes, are you familiar with what those are? Do you ever look at your dollar bills and see if there's a star on them? That's an error. It's a replacement note for an error note that they printed.
They've now
So
shredded it.
Exactly. So now they send it out. They have a star note. Star notes have a premium on it. So now you're going to be looking at all your freaking money and see, they still make star notes today.
He's gonna whip one out.
I am. Well, I'm gonna whip it out. Yeah, that's exactly.
That's what I hear, like star notes and then palindromes, right?
Yeah. So
right,
I mean, you just got to look at them and look at the serial number on every note you have, and if it's a star note, it's always going to be on the left hand side.
It's always gonna be on the left.
Always going to be on the left.
So now we're
So
now,
here
is
we
it
are.
on every bill?
No, it's not on every bill. It's
Well,
only
sorry,
on specific
No,
bills.
do they make star notes?
Thank you.
Do they make star notes for $100 bills?
I believe they do.
Okay, so
I've never seen one, but I've seen star notes.
what does ND mean? What does MC mean? MF, NL,
I know what MF
ME,
means.
ME.
Yeah,
I'm not trying to brag about, but I just again I have to carry fucking cash. I don't have a fucking bank account right now. Just say.
That's
so yeah,
I don't
I
have-
mean,
I have no star notes.
here, let's take a look at your dollars.
Yeah.
Did you look at those already or
No,
no?
gosh,
No. All right.
You
So
always
no,
have
you
the
don't have
big-
any star notes. But if you had a star note, it'd be a bold star right here. But who looks at that kind of stuff?
nobody.
Well, now you might.
I'm going to now.
Because that dollar, if you brought that dollar into me, you'd make probably 50 cents on it.
I fucking know about making.
I know
sense.
you are. You're all about making 50 cents. It's probably more than what your bank is going to give you right now, isn't it?
It's definitely more than the bank's going to give you.
I have more money than most people sitting in a bank account, and I will tell you, I made $10.86 last month in interest.
That sucks.
But I also
My daughter makes more than that, and she has way less money than you.
but I also have 15,000 sitting in account making 4%. But like what I'm saying is like my like big account because like
Yeah.
nobody's giving
Nobody gives good rates on anything
On
over
50.
like 15,000.
Yeah. 10K at like
Are we allowed to leave and urinate during the
Absolutely.
show?
You know where it is.
I got to go do that right now. I'll be back, boys. You guys can talk about something else.
We love talking, so no problem there.
I shall return.
He's gonna go find all these star notes in his car. He's like, shit,
I am.
did I lock that Ferrari? I
I'm gonna
forget.
go find the cash register in this place and rate it.
You can do that, but there isn't one.
So I go to so we're talking about money. We're
Yeah.
doing this. I go to the Whitecaps game.
Sunday
First fucking sign I see.
is what?
A cashless facility.
Yes, they
I
are.
can't pay for parking with fucking cash.
Or
I
you
look-
have to pay.
I look at this guy and I was like, how the fuck do you want me to pay? And he's like, well, we have to take card. And I was like, I don't have one. Is that what you want to hear? I'm broke, okay? Like, rub it in.
I can give you $100 bill, or I can give you nothing.
Right? Like, you pick. No, so we coordinated to pay for that. We have some free drink coupons or whatever. And then, like, I'm like, all right, Courtney, I need your money. Like, I can give you 100 that you can go put in your bank account. But, like,
You need food.
I have nothing to my name right now. Like,
You need a drink.
I'm worthless at this fucking ballpark, right? And this is why I hate banks. Because they own my life. They can cut me off at any time.
They can.
So like I think that idea of looking for star notes, that's huge. You're gonna be 50 cents just to have a bill. Like, okay.
Well, again, I'm always looking for ways to make more money off of my money. So I will look so much closer now. I'll actually tell my mom to look at her shit because she probably still has some old shit. While next writing, I will sit here and talk about absolutely nothing.
No,
Hey, you know, it's funny.
Yeah.
Trade deadline came and went.
Yeah.
Juan Soto got traded for a boatload of shit.
Yeah.
And the Cubs held on to Contreras and Ian Happ,
and you know who
which they're not going to extend, which pisses me off.
I say, you know who I have?
Who?
Javier Baez.
I love Javier Baez.
But
He hit a home run off his brother-in-law the other day.
did he really?
He did.
Oh, sick.
His brother-in-law, I think that was the first batter he faced from the majors.
Nice.
Was Javier, and Javi hit a fucking just rocket.
Oh, nice. So, you know, you and I, we enjoy this. We don't know how long we have our guest, but
Hopefully at least another 29 minutes.
hoping at least another hour and 29.
Well, that too.
But now, what's what's your thought process on? Because you pick up coins, right? You do
All the time.
Now,
Do I look closely at them? No.
No, you just go throw them in the bank.
Yeah, but will I now? Yes.
So, sorry, we have so many questions we're writing down.
Keep writing.
So glad you're back. Hopefully
It's
you
all
enjoyed it.
quiet here, man.
No, sorry, because we were writing so many questions. So,
Oh, yeah.
David, do you have any questions real quick? Otherwise, I'm gonna run
Shoot 'em.
through these. All right. So, again, I started watching people open these things. Should I go to my bank and start buying 50-cent rolls, or the 50-cent pieces, because like they're the silver that's in them? So should I start trying to find silver in these rolls, or are they already picked over?
They're gone. You're not, it's going to be incredibly, they're gone from banks because tellers, I think, know. And if they see them come in, they're just going to replace them and set them aside. You're not going to find, it would be unbelievable if you were to go get a roll of, 50 $half or 20 $half, whatever it is in a roll, and have a 1964 earlier hat. It's just not.
Plus, and that's my daughter, so my cheap ass.
Yes.
When my daughter was younger, I mean that's all I paid her in was gold dollars and $half. And I started to learn a little bit about these. So like I went into her piggy bank and I was like, God, I better not have given her some silver. Like I'm gonna run through this, I'll replace it for the 50-cent piece. Because I mean at the time, so what like whatever it is.
Well, a lot of people, this is how they stack their silver. Okay. I mean, it's just amazing how what has happened to coin collecting in the last 40 years. I mean, nobody comes into our store anymore with a Franklin $half book. Those were the $half before the Kennedys, and they're just trying to fill holes in it. That's silver. We got people coming in the store now going, I got $1,000. I want 1,090% silver half, or I want $1,000 worth.
Right.
Yeah.
So depending on whatever they cost that day, I'll do the math and figure it out. And there's probably going to be like 187 of them or something like that. And I just go pull them and they take a bag and they're gone. I mean, that's just how it is now. I mean, gone are the days, at least of people our age, 50 or under, of filling books. It just isn't something that happens with us. I mean, it still happens with, older people who grew up with it, but now it's about stacking. Now it's about, somebody started a nasty rumor recently. I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but somebody started a rumor that U.S. silver constitutional money is going to be brought back. And I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of people are really going and getting it, because they're doomsdayers, right? They're preparing for when it all goes to hell. They want to have an abundance of this kind of stuff. And, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. But, if they think it's going to happen and they want to come and buy that stuff from me, I'll sell it to them.
So before Nick gets into this question, I'm telling the brain story real fast.
Yeah.
So it's 2007, 2008.
I've spilled.
Oh, all the beer police.
Absolutely. In the other room, can you grab some while I tell this story?
I'm sorry, guys.
No, Nick did it the other day all over the floor.
Oh my God, right to the crack.
So it's like 2008, and I think Obama had just gotten elected.
Okay.
And my mom and my aunt have a financial advisor who decided this was the worst thing in the world that could ever happen, because everybody's going to lose their money now buy grain because it will be worth way more than any account you could put it in. Grain. Like
egg.
Like real fucking, like they didn't buy futures, they bought the fucking grain. It's kept in Missouri in these huge fucking like 10-ton tubs. And I think my aunt put about 20,000 into it. My mother put about $12,000 into it. Brent, let me tell you, this grain ain't worth shit because the world was ending. A black man was going to be president, and that's what they sold these two idiots on. I love my aunt; she's passed. I love my mom, but come on. They called me, and I said, "Yeah, fuck off."
Well, I can't say much about grain, and I don't think that 90% silver United States constitutional coinage is going to be coming back into our financial system. I could be wrong.
If you are, you guys are set though. You want to coin?
Well, exactly. But there will always be a market for that stuff.
Yeah.
And it will never end. And you guys kind of made it you kind of referenced it early on in the show about the pandemic.
Mhm.
The pandemic, when everything shut down and none of us could do anything, and our lives completely changed on a dime. A lot of people went back to hobbies.
Mhm.
They went back to collectibles, or they adopted one or two because they had nothing else to do.
Yeah.
And that is why I think you're seeing, so much, all levels of collecting. Even our, you and I are Star Wars collectors too. I mean, I'm big into the, 1/6 scale stuff from Hot
Oh, yeah.
Toys and the old 1970s stuff that I grew up with. That stuff is a premium right now.
Yeah, everything shot up in price.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can't buy some of those little figures that we bought back in 1978 for $1.96 a piece at Kmart. I mean, those are, even just one that is missing the gun is going to cost you $70.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that 2 years ago.
No.
I think the same one probably would have cost you $18, 15 maybe.
And we talked about that a little bit with the Tardies count, right?
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, he bought a Millennium Falcon, missing some pieces and stuff, and they pieced it together. So we talked about like keeping grain. So I kind of called the company because it was the back of a magazine, and they're like, "Hey, we'll send you a free silver round, just to talk to you," type thing. And here I was, 20 years old, and the guy's like, "Well, what do you have to invest?" And I was like, I'd be willing to put 10K into this or something. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And they sent me. I was like, "Send me the round first. I'll see if you guys are true, and I'm going to bring it to my one shop." And they're like, "Yeah, we'll give you $15." And I'm like, "All right, cool. Like, this is actual stuff." Because again, I don't know anything about this, right? And I keep telling this guy, I was like, "You can talk to your blue in the face. I don't know you. I can't see you. I don't trust you." Right?
Right.
All right. And he's like, "Cool. Start there." So that came to the thing. He's like, "All right, but you can buy it and we can ship it to you and you'll pay, or we can keep it here in house and you'll have your own little safe or whatever." And I was like, "A safe that you're like 400, 5,000 miles away. I don't know where the hell this safe is." Like, would you suggest anybody letting people keep their stuff? Like, if I were to call in, right? So like, let's say I go to your store and you guys have a little. Would you suggest anybody saying, "Hey, yeah, I'll keep your stuff and I'll hold it here for you"?
No, I mean, no. No, absolutely not. I don't think we would. Nobody leaves our store without paying for whatever it is they want. We will though put stuff on layaway. So if a returning customer were to call us on a Tuesday, like today, right, and silver spot price is $20 an ounce. So with the premium on top of that, we'll sell a 10-ounce silver bar for $250. So $5 over times 10 gets you to 50, so $250. Okay. So we'll put it in layaway for you today. They can't pay till Friday. Okay. So Friday comes, and what if spot price is now at $22 an ounce or $22 an ounce? Well, we're going to honor what we told them on Tuesday. We will sell that to them for $250. We put it in layaway. We locked in what spot what was when it was, and we will do that. We're not going to bump that thing up to $275 or $280, which is what we would sell it to anybody else who walked in the door that day.
Sure.
So I guess we do the reverse of that.
Yep.
But no, I mean, we're not going to let somebody walk out with, 10 1-ounce rounds and hope that they come back and pay us 3 days later.
No, sorry, I guess this is more like, hey, give me $1,000, buy 180 rounds or whatever it is, right?
Mhm.
Or let's just call it 100 rounds. and they're gonna keep it in a safety deposit box for me at their shop, so that way I don't have to pay shipping for me to have my physical item.
Oh, no, I've never run into anything like that. Okay, I get you
That's what
now.
this company kind of was. They're like, yeah, we can keep it here, or we could, we'll send it to you and ship. You're getting shipping, and I'm like, I'm buying like a tangible asset. Like I want to hold that.
Right.
I mean, that's the hard part. Like you guys are great at like keeping things in box. I could never look at something in a fucking box and go, I'm gonna keep it there. I'm like, no, I'll play with that son of a bitch.
First
Right?
thing, if you're gonna get, I mean, again, I said it earlier in the show. I mean, I would never buy anything off of TV. I would never buy anything.
So that's a huge don't buy.
That, I mean, I would never. If you want to watch, QVC and just watch these guys talk everything up and just kind of enjoy the entertainment of it and just know what the reality truly is that you're going to get something similar to what they're selling. Okay, you're not going to get what you see there. I guarantee it. You're going to get, if they're trying to sell you an 1878 8-tail feather Morgan dollar.
Yep.
Okay, and you see it there. Okay, that isn't going to be the one that you get. You will get an 1878 8-tail feather Morgan dollar, but it will be damaged. It will be cleaned. It will have been dipped in. It'll be just a poor piece that they had gotten in from somewhere. And that is how they're able to move that asset and sell it for 150, 180 bucks when that coin in that condition probably isn't even worth $35.
Don't wash your coins.
Do not wash your coins. Do not dip them in anything. Don't do it because it completely destroys. It takes silver off of it. It takes precious metal off of it. Yeah, and it ruins the surface.
Wow.
Yeah. Which makes it impossible for us to buy from you because we want to send some of the higher end stuff off for grading. PCSG and NGC won't grade cleaned coins.
Okay.
So you have clean coins, we'll buy them from you, but you're not going to get what you think you're going to get.
Now, so they do grading on coins then. So I mean, depending on what it is. Okay. Now what's the best way to learn about this? And like, we're talking about half dollars, we're talking about quarters, and how do I learn if I want to get started? Where do I do this?
You mean in terms of getting into coin collecting, or just?
I mean, I wouldn't even call it collecting because I don't think we're going to collect, right? We talked about the starting off, so I'm going to start looking. I'll put them to the side. Come to you when I have $10, and I'll make the drive, and I'll go play pinball at the place in Rockford, and then come see you, and I pay for my pinball thing off 50 cents I made off of each dollar.
Whenever I have conversations like this about people, it just triggers you now to make sure you just become incredibly hypersensitive and conscious about checking your money.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you just never know. You might have something in your wallet that's worth more than what it says on the paper, or you might have I've said before that you're not going to be able to go to the bank and get 1963 dimes, but you might have one get handed back to you if you go to Meijer. If you use cash, most people put stuff on card now, but
no, not me, not the past 2 weeks. That's a fact.
But if you go to the what is it? You go to Meijer and you check out on your own, the individual,
self-scan and all that.
If you use a $20 bill and it's $14 and something, check it. Check what you got. Check the change that's spit back out. I mean, you might have something that comes out. You're not going to have a 1909 SVDV penny come out of there, but you might have a 1962 dime come out of there because people are spending that stuff.
I will. So here's the greedy side of me. Well, I run through $900 worth of quarters, right? Because I do laundry on site in our facility, and so anywhere from $800 to $900. So now I'd like to quarters. What's my best way? So everything 1964 and earlier, I should just keep.
They're all 90% silver.
64 and less, and then just keep those and swap them out to the owner.
And then Washington quarters, they started in 1932. Okay, numismatically, meaning coin collector, meaning collectability, meaning that higher premium because of low mintage. Okay, the 1932 PDS Washington quarter are the rarest Washington quarters of them all because it was the first year of the Washington quarter, and each one was low minted. Okay. Every other, but they were also 90% silver. But those are worth way more than just silver value. Every other quarter after 1932, from 33 through 64, we pay $4. There's no, they made millions of every one of them after. So that's
Like the
so
83
this is
Corvette.
the way you know. This is now you know 1932. It's in your head, right? It's stuck in there.
Mhm.
You're never gonna. You're not gonna see a 1932 quarter come into your change. Maybe you will. Here's the thing. There's addicts out there. People who just have to. They'll go into dad's coin collection, pop all the coins out, and go spend it because they have to get their fix. That's how coins like that get back into circulation. Okay, I bet you two of you guys would love to like go to Gun Lake Casino and see all the coins that come into that place, because that's an addiction place too.
Yep.
You've got people who have probably emptied silver quarters left and right because they think they're going to get 3 7s today.
Yeah.
And I bet you a place like that, and they may not even know about it. Maybe they do have somebody down there who has a knowledge like what we have now, and can go through all of their quarters and dimes and identify the ones that are 90% silver. But imagine at a place like that.
I say, I bet, and most people are like me, where the fact is it's not worth my time because, right, like I'm not going to pay somebody to do that because the amount of money the rarity of me finding it isn't worth it, right? But again, we roll the quarters, we sit in a big group and we do it, but I have no problem going through all of these, and I did it for a little bit because people are like, oh hey, look for this, look for that, and I was like, I just got so tired of like looking for defects, and I was like, I don't actually know.
Well, you don't want to worry about defects. Just worry about 64 and earlier.
64 and earlier.
So don't look for error coins. There's really no market for error coins out there.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's nobody's coming. People call us with like, I got a Liberty. I got a Lincoln penny where the Y, I can't see in Liberty. The Y is gone. It's like
It's been in a million pockets.
yeah. I mean, it's worn. Well, I went on eBay. One of them's going for $1,800. I'm like, you have to somehow be nice to these people, right? I mean, you don't want to
put it on eBay, buddy.
I mean, so just look for 64 and earlier. That's all you need to do.
That's the best way to start, at least.
Absolutely, you need a 64 and earlier. For pennies, 1958 and earlier. Okay, because those are wheat pennies.
That's another one of the questions, because I've heard of wheat pennies.
All right, wheat pennies started in 1909, which was the first year of the Lincoln cent. They went until 1958. 1959 is when the Lincoln Memorial was put on the back of the penny, which is the one that we all remember. Now, they've had several different versions of the penny minted over the course of the past decade. But wheat pennies are the ones that have some value. Now, we pay 2 cents a piece for every wheat penny that is 1934 to 1958. There are no rare ones in that window. Don't pay 2, you'll get twice as much of the value of the penny from us.
Yeah.
1943 was a year that pennies were made out of steel. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Kind of. I was going to ask you that kind of question. So I worked at Pioneer Park.
You did.
And the guy, so people cash for the concession stand and stuff, and he would go through the pennies with I want to say it was like a little piece of like paper or something, but he would rub the pennies and then he'd put separate ones in different spots and all that. I was like, I don't know what he's doing, right? Like you'd have this change of pennies, and he's like, I'm buying those at the end of the night. I was like, you're buying fucking pennies, dude? Like I didn't know, right?
I'm sure they were wheat pennies. I'm sure that they, and some of those still pop up and change.
Oh yeah, all the time. Like
yeah,
it was every week. And granted, this is 15 years ago or whatever.
Oh yeah,
but like he was, every night he was just sorting them, and he had no problem going through because he's like, oh,
yeah,
like it doesn't. He enjoys doing it.
There's a mild premium in those. I mean, if people come into our
you guys sold for about $2 a roll, right?
Yes.
Yep.
So we'll have a roll of 50, and yeah, it's $2, maybe a little more, maybe 2 1/4.
Sure.
But yeah, but we pay 2 cents a piece for every wheat penny, every one, with the exception of the ones that are high premium, like the 09 SVDB, the 1914D, some of the teens ones that have mint marks, the 11D, 12D, 12S, those are, $10, $12, $15 pennies that we'd probably pay $3, $4 a piece for. Think about that.
Between 58, 64 and before, except for pennies, 58, but like everything that I should just come to see you. I should build a big collection of 64 and before.
We'll buy every one of them from you.
What's it worth, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if you find 100 pre-1964 quarters, today we'll give you $4 a piece for them. Stop and think about that. You know, that's 25 cents, and I'm giving you $4 for each one of those.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a reason for you to pause and look at the change that you just got when you walked out after buying your Three Musketeers bar and your Diet Coke at the gas station, isn't it?
That's a great return on investment.
Things you should learn about us. We don't ever buy Diet.
What if somebody came in and said, "Hey, I'd like to sell these, but I want to do it on consignment"?
We've done that. Well, that means, so what we would do then, we've done that. People have come in and they've used us to sell their stuff. But what we do is we'll do like an 80-20 or an 85-15.
Mm-hmm.
So they get 85%, but we're the ones putting the work into it. I mean, Ben, my boss, has got to, he's paying the labor. If we're putting it on eBay, there's fees there. There's 9% on the back. All that has to be covered. And then they agree that if it all sells, then we get to take 15% of whatever the final piece of it is, because you used us.
Mm-hmm.
But we've done that a lot. We and not just coins either. I mean, we had some older gentlemen come in and use us to sell a bunch of old cameras from the 1960s and 70s that his father had. His father was a camera collector. Well, Dad died. What happened? Son got it all, shoved it all into a closet because I don't know anything about it. I'm sure it's worth something, but I don't have time for that, Yeah. And then he brought them all in back in March or April, and we slowly sold them. It ended up being about $27,000 worth of camera equipment.
Wow.
So do the math on that. 15% of that, after labor and whatever. I mean, our store probably came away with $3-4 grand. I mean, yeah, we would absolutely do that if people needed that service.
So I say, we talked about the wheat pennies. We talked about pretty much the start, what to keep, 64 and before, and 58 and before for pennies. What do I sell? Like, as a person, what do I sell, and when do I sell it?
I think you sell it any time. I mean, wheat pennies, your regular wheat pennies are not ever going to go up and down. I mean, not anytime soon. I mean, those are always going to be 2 cents a piece.
I think I don't know, I might have thrown mine away. I had books, right? Because I don't know, they've been in my house, in my mom's house forever, and I had been given them type thing. So I went to a place, and I'll call it out. It's called the Collector's Emporium, right? Which was weird. They were in a different place on 28th Street, and then they moved over into Wyoming, and they sold magic cards. So like, it just happened to pop up. So I was there, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Oh, I'll trade these pennies or whatever for magic cards," because I was a kid, just like every other person, right? Like, hey, I don't know anything about this. I'll trade it, and they treated me like a dumbass, right? They're like, "Yeah, all of your pennies in here are worthless." I was like, "They're in books, right? Like, how can they be worthless?" And granted, come to find out, I mean, some of them were older, right? They probably were wheat pennies. They just didn't want to pay 2 cents.
I mean, I don't know when that was, but everybody has a good resource right now. It's called Googles. Okay?
No.
Yeah. So if you really want to take the time, all you have to do is go online and type in rare Lincoln wheat cents.
Yeah.
And you're going to know exactly what ones have high premiums, and then you can cross-reference that information on the Googles with what's in your book. Mm-hmm. And if you have a 1914D, that's worth money. That's probably a $200 coin, even in its worst condition, because it was a low minted coin. I think there was only like 1 million or 800,000 of them made. Think about that.
You're starting to sound like the guys on TV. There's only 1 million of them made.
Yeah, there you go. Buy it.
A million's
buy it
much.
for $7,000.
Right to say.
Well, it reminds me. In here we get donations all the time to break, and we got the Norman Rockwell.
Oh yeah.
And Dawn goes, "It's a shame to break these. Look them up, see if they're worth anything. They ain't worth dick." And I know people that were buying these things. Like, I remember the commercials in the 80s. Buy this limited edition Norman Rockwell plate for $30 and it'll be worth, X amount of dollars later.
Yeah.
And they're worth like $3 a piece now. I told Don, I'm like, we can just put them in a bin and sell them for $2 because they're cute and people will pay $2 to break the damn thing.
Right.
I think what people need to do, and people don't think to ask these questions because nobody is telling them to ask these questions. But I think you need to ask your mother or your father if they're still above the dirt, or your grandparents if they're still above the dirt, if they coin collected. Because maybe they did and they forgot that they did, or it's a collection that they got decades ago and they shoved in the back of a closet and have forgotten about. And you might have something that you don't even know. And then you can, you could see what's in there. Because if anybody is getting coin collections today from their fathers who are in their 70s or 80s, I guarantee you there's a lot of silver in that. I guarantee you, I bet you 80% of it. And what good is it doing sitting in the back of the closet because somebody was lazy in 1978 or 1984 and it's been forgotten about? Ask and see. If they say no, then okay. But you can bring it. Like I said, we do scheduled appraisals. People will call the store. We get them on the calendar at a specific time so that they don't walk in with 4 tubs full of stuff and sit there and wait for another appraisal to get done. They come in at 2:00 in the afternoon. They're going to either get my undivided attention or Ben's, and we will be. And it's like I said, it's complimentary. We're not charging for the service. And we'll run through item by item, put it on an Excel spreadsheet, and at the end, if you want to sell it for what we offered for the whole thing, great. If you don't, then we'll print off the report. You can take it with you, and then you have an idea of what all your stuff is worth based on today's market value. And it's free. Now, 9 out of 10 people sell because they just want it gone. It's free money.
Yeah.
It's a collection that wasn't yours. You inherited it. As long as you know that, we're backing it up a little bit, we're not going to pay you what the going rate is on stuff. Because if we did that, we wouldn't make any money as a business. We're going to back some of that stuff up 70%.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Cold business.
Right.
Now let's say, do you guys do any coin shows?
We never go to any of the local coin shows. I know there's one at the Granville Armory. I think it's on the 2nd or 3rd Saturday of every month. I have been to it. My father-in-law was big into it, and I went with him like 2 or 3 years ago, pre-pandemic. But we don't go. We have enough people coming into the storefront on a daily basis where we don't need to go and do those coin shows. Oh, that's very fortunate for us because if you go to one of those coin shows, you're paying almost twice as much for stuff at those coin shows as you would if you were to come into our store on Saturday.
I'm not saying that's.
Because those guys have to pay for. You're renting space.
Yeah.
You've got overhead. You've got the you're probably paying $500 to have a table there. You're paying for other fees because you
have to come, you have to set up, you have to unload everything.
Right. I get it. Totally. I understand, but you're also gonna go to a coin show and pay $35 for a 1 ounce, generic silver round, and then you come to our store on the same day and you're gonna get the same thing for $10 cheaper.
Sure. And that's good. That's good. That's good to know, right?
Right.
Now, let's see. I was hoping a friend of mine would hop on, but he hasn't.
He has not.
His kids did a. Is there an age limit of people you'll buy from? I guess.
No, anybody who wants to come in. We've had young kids come in. We've had young teenagers come in, and they've got coins they want to sell. We'll evaluate them and buy them from them.
Granted, they are both. But they just cleaned out a storage unit and they found coins, and so they're like, "Oh, hey, well, come on and talk about those a little bit." I was like, "Yeah, perfect night to do it." What can you say? And so I'm thinking, like, I'll get them in contact. How do I get people in contact with you? I mean, right, so it's Grandpa's Coins.
Yeah, it's Grand Rapids Coins. I'll have to pull up my business card here, but I'll give you the landline phone number to the store. I should probably have this memorized, but I don't. It's 616-884-5048. And again, that is our storefront in Rockford, which is at 2745 10 Mile Road. So if you're familiar with we're literally in that strip mall right there in front of the Meijer. I mean, you can't miss us. I mean, you get off the exit and we're right there.
Sure. Now, do you find people are local into Rockford that come to you, or people actually travel a little bit farther to find you guys? What are you finding?
A lot of people from Rockford come in. We have a lot of clientele that have come in from Sand Lake, from Cedar Springs, all over Grand Rapids. We've had some people come all the way from Muskegon. We had one client drive all the way down from Traverse City.
Oh.
I'm shocked to learn that I guess they don't have a coin bullion store up there. So this guy wanted to unload some silver and gold, and we in Rockford, which is northern Kent County, is his closest place he could find in Traverse City. So he drove down and we did some business with him. So and then these people refer, and it's word of mouth. And then other people, we had a guy come all the way down from Sault Ste. Marie.
Wow.
That's a hike.
Yeah. He had heard about us, was interested in buying some gold. And he was in Big Rapids working, and I don't know, he must have had an hour or two free, and he called and said, hey, I'm from the Sioux, but I'm in Big Rapids, can I come down? And he came down, and we did business with him, and now we've continued to do business with him.
Will you ship to him?
We will ship to people. Yeah.
So that's huge, like, because what I find, I mean, Grand Rapids, I feel like I think there's just coin stuff everywhere in Grand Rapids, right? I don't know if the Emporium's still on 44th and Burlingame, but then you have the place on 44th and Vision. You have the place in 28. Like, I see coin things just kind of all over the place. The farther out of town I go, like if I go to Baldwin or Whiteley, right? I see a bar and that's about it, right? Like you don't see those types. But you know that those backwoods people, they think the aspect of like, hey, the world's coming, I'm gonna load up on this. Like that's what people are gonna have those types. Surprised me that there's not shops there selling the crap on.
Yeah.
Because they're also the people that won't use internet. So
right. Yeah.
So now my next question: do you have a personal collection?
I have bits and pieces of my father-in-law's collection. What got me back into this was him. He started collecting coins, I want to say in 2018 or 2019. And he would always call me, I remember how fascinating it was when I was 11 years old or 12 years old when I was doing it, but then I abandoned it. But I knew what he was talking about when he would call me and say, hey, I picked up another Carson City Morgan dollar today. And then, he had somebody that he could bounce it off of, and I understood what some of that language was. Yeah. And but I didn't have any idea how much of a collection he truly had. Okay. And then he passed away in December of 2020. Yeah, I know. It sucked. And my wife is an only child, so she inherited everything. Well, she inherited that coin collection, and it ended up being 5 huge tubs full of stuff.
Yeah, like this is
like I was the person. I was the people who call us and need somebody to bail me out of this mess.
Right.
I know I have something that's valuable, but I don't have the time or the ability to begin to dig into this. Right. So I called Ben. And he did a house visit. We do house visits too. If there's people out there who can't get their collections, if it's too much or if they can't physically or they have an issue of some sort, we will come to you. Yeah. In fact, we're going to do an evaluation in St. Joseph in a week or two. Yeah. We're driving all the way down to the Benton Harbor area to do one because there's somebody down there that heard about us. Yeah. And they're like, well, I'm not physically able to do it right now. Well, then we will come to you.
Yeah. And you're risking that there's telling you. So I assume that you're asking a few questions of
Well, we need to know, yeah, when we're gonna drive that far, especially when gas is $4.75 a gallon or whatever it is. I mean, you need to tell us what you got. You know,
Right.
please, if you're not sure what you have, take some pictures of it.
Yep.
And text them to this number so we can at least get a visual on what you have, so that we can make sure that it's worth our drive. I mean, if we, if you just tell us, yeah, I've got some coins, can you come look at them? And we drive all the way down to St. Joseph and it's 5 seconds away of dollars and 1 wheat penny.
Right.
That's not really gonna be a good return.
Yeah. So you had a great lunch that you paid for. Right?
So, but we, do that. And Ben did that with me. He came to my house. It was just too much stuff. We didn't have a vehicle that we could put all that stuff in.
5 totes. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
shit.
he sat at our kitchen table and he went through it item by item and did it. And I just became fascinated by the process by which what he was doing.
Is that how he started his business?
That's
off of you?
No, he started it. No,
Say.
no, he had been doing it a while before, but that's how I got more interested in this, was by watching him do that evaluation. And then I thought to myself, my God, I get up and I get to go to work every day and all I do is treasure hunt.
Sure.
That's all this is.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Because you don't know what people are bringing in. I mean, they could tell you, yeah, I got some books, I got, a bag of this. They don't. You somewhat have an idea, but you really don't. And each one of those appraisals that we do, sometimes they only take half an hour. Sometimes we did one back in March, April that took 7 hours.
Wow.
An appraisal. And again, we do this complimentary, but we had no idea. These people said, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Well, what's a lot of stuff? It's a lot of stuff to you, may not be a lot of stuff to the next guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, we didn't,
Awesome.
But anyways, it's a service that we do. That collection, the 7-hour one, they sold us and it was $70,000. So, but you don't, again, in order to have a coin store, you got to have money.
Yeah.
Which sounds kind of ironic. Mm-hmm. But you have to be able, you don't know when these people, what people are bringing in. And, we had a guy walk in back in April, I think it was mid-April, just a walk-in. He had $330,000 collection, a walk-in. He had all these St. Gaudens gold coins in slabs. I mean, it was this unbelievable collection that he had been building for decades. Mm-hmm. And he wasn't even on the schedule to be evaluated that day. But how do you turn somebody like that away?
Yeah, you guys buy it?
We bought it.
So I mean, there's you have no limit on what you can buy it.
Not really. I mean, that was the biggest one that we've had walk in the door. But we're constantly, when we do these evaluations, we're constantly churning stuff out on eBay. We're feeding the eBay store.
So you only care about current values because you guys plan to turn it over the next minute.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. Any type of gold coins that we get from appraisals are almost flipped right away. People want gold. And Ben has clients that he has built up relationships with over the course of the past 3 or 4 years that he can, he's sitting in an appraisal and he can see certain gold coins come through and he'll know exactly who to call. So once he wraps up, gets the coins, cuts the check or pays cash, whatever, he's on the phone in the car on the way back. Hey, Dave, I got, you believe it or not, I got 4 of these. Yep, set them aside for him. Yep. So they're sold before he's even backing out of the drive. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's a fascinating industry to be in, and it's something that is constantly different every day. Although it's kind of the same, but it's different.
Sure.
And but at the end of the day, this is going to sound a little dreary, but it's the death industry.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I mean, if people die, coin collections are inherited. The people who inherit them don't know what to do, so they sell them to us. We then flip them, and then the cycle starts over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If there was no death, there would be no coin stores.
I've said before, if I would have died last year when I tried, Caitlin would have had most of my collection sold in like a week.
Yeah.
And wouldn't have thought twice about it. She would have just been like, oh, hey, I can get this much out of sell it.
And I would have offered her 10 cents on the dollar.
And she would not sell to you.
Yes, she would.
No, she would not.
She gave somebody $1,000 or attempted to give somebody, she would sell to me. Hey, I would have been like, your dad would have won.
But she's a little bit smarter now.
That's now. Back then, she wasn't. Okay. To say back then, I would have been a millionaire. Millions. No.
You know, while I'm thinking about one other thing too, and I want to bring this up, foreign coins.
Yeah. Say that's was that question.
Is that going to be one of them?
Was.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the deal on foreign coins. Okay. We will buy them from you. However, chances are we're going to pay like $1 for all of them. Why? Because the majority of foreign coins are no longer redeemable because of the euro.
Because they all
The euro, yes. Most of the countries overseas consolidated to the euro. Now, there's a few that have not. Australia, Switzerland, Great Britain.
Yep.
Canada still has its own money. There's probably a few others over there, maybe, but the majority of the countries over there went to the euro in the year 2000. Every country that went to the euro had until 2012 to redeem all that coinage, all that paper. If you did not redeem all of that and turn it into euros by December 31st, 2012, your money is worthless. Unless there is some rarity, unless you have a note that was like super low, So when people come in and, I mean, let's face it, people would go on vacations and they would get money for the countries that they went to, and grandpa and grandma would have all this foreign coinage. What we do is we have to break it to these people, and it's hard because sometimes the majority of their collection is all this foreign money that grandpa and grandma collected from all their travels after they retired.
Yeah.
And it's like, here's what we'll do. We'll go through it. We'll see if we can identify any coins in there that have precious metal in them. If there's if there's coins in there that we know have silver purity in them, we'll weigh them. And we'll weigh them in grams. And then we will pay you probably 98% of melt value. Because we got to build in a profit margin, right? Okay. Everything else you have, we're going to pay $1, $2 for if you want it gone. Because all we're going to do with all that metal, which is completely not redeemable, is put it in a bag and send it off to a smelter based on weight. And that's how that's it. So chances are, if you're sitting on a bunch of foreign money, it isn't worth anything. But you have to probably bring it to somebody like us at Grand Rapids Coins to be able to go through it to make sure. But you might have some silver in there. And a lot of, here's something that people don't know. From 1920 to 1966, all Canadian dimes, quarters, and half dollars were 80% silver. So if you have Canadian money, change, dated 1920 to 1966, those are worth more than their face value. Even in the United States, where we pay 65%, right, of Canadian money, still going to get more than a dime for that dime. You're probably going to get 90 cents for it. That's,
Well, I mean, that's such good return, right?
So anyways, that's, for that hopefully that may help people who think that, that bag of foreign coins that grandpa gave them back in 1999.
I'll tell you, I do that with my daughter, right? Because like we went to Mexico,
Yeah.
we and I have a Canadian $20 bill, like, and so I just sit here and go, all right, like it's just fun to have, right? But like you're telling me the value is,
well, Canadian money you can still go to Canada and spend.
Yeah, I know. I forgot to bring it last time I was there, and I spent $80 to fill up my tank, and it only went a quarter tank because $9 a gallon there.
I might know somebody that has Iranian money.
Way to go.
Actually, I might know many somebody's.
Your family.
Yeah, no shit, right?
So I want to kind of get back to that silver note real quick. So you can't trade that in anymore?
No, that's gone. That ended, I don't remember exactly what year it was, but the last year of the silver certificate $1 note was 1957.
Okay.
So I'm guessing changing silver certificates for actual silver probably ended somewhere in the 60s, probably the early 1960s. That's kind of when silver went away from the coins. So I'd have to Google that to get that.
Which I say it's fine, but like I say that's it kind of what they did with the euro. They gave you a set time to turn it in. If you didn't do it,
Right.
F you, and if you did,
Right.
good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, so they say it costs more to make a penny than what it's
I've heard
worth,
that.
right?
Yeah.
What's the chances of actually getting rid of a penny?
Getting rid of it completely?
Yeah, like
I think it's very good. Canada got rid of the penny in 2013.
Sure.
Yeah.
I remember
If you see a Canadian penny, there's not one dated past 2013. It's gone.
So should I start hoarding my pennies?
I would. We would pay 2 cents a piece for them. Canadian pennies, we would pay 2 cents a
Should I
piece for.
start hoarding my American pennies?
I don't know if you want to do that right now. I don't know. There's
I mean,
a lot
I'm
of
future
conspiracy.
investment kind of guy.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna hoard pennies, hoard beats,
Yeah, that too.
because those, those ended in 1958. They've been gone for, damn near 80 years. So, if you want to hoard pennies, hoard those, because those are all, those are 1909 to 1958, but today's pennies, I don't, I suppose you could, if you can afford to do it, you want to do it, do it. I just, I don't know if the United States Mint is ready to end the penny. I've heard a lot of talk about it.
I mean, we've heard it for years.
I mean, eventually, I think we're gonna be, I don't know what you guys think, but physical money is even gonna be around in 10 years.
We'll be a cashless society until I get fucked and not having a debit card.
Well, if you go to a West Michigan Whitecaps game right now, they're cashless.
Nick was telling the story while you went downstairs. He was so pissed because he couldn't pay for parking. He went Sunday and he had cash because he has no card.
I have no card, right? Like
Couldn't pay for parking, couldn't buy anything.
It's gone.
Concessions.
No.
So this is to my accountant and to the federal government. Okay, I officially am sponsoring my Nationals bowling next year with my business.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a business trip through Nick Watkins LLC because they've been telling me to pay my bills, and I've been dealing with some fraud issues for God knows how long, and checks, whatever. Big long story. The fact is like I had to pay this bill, and all I have is my business account. So now Nick Watkins LLC literally just funded my trip to Las Vegas for my Nationals, and that's going to be on my shirt. It's literally going to say, "This is who sponsored. This is my trip. I'm now promoting myself. I will buy your house while I'm bowling the fucking lanes, right? Because that's the only debit card. I don't own a credit card.
Yeah.
Right. Things about me. I don't own a credit card. I only have debit, and my one debit card that's my personal money is not fucking valid right now. I have $1 million in liquid cash and can't fucking touch it. Okay, thanks for reminding me. Like it pisses me off so much. But no, if you have $1 million, you're the dumbest person to have that. You're only federally backed by 250,000.
Yeah.
So, I forget we have to be very clear with people.
Yes.
Let's say, it's just so. Yeah, I went to the ballgame and I asked my wife for beer. Right.
Yeah. And let me guess, you had to pay $8 for parking to get in, and you couldn't pay $8. You couldn't give them a 10 and get 2 back.
Exactly. Like I had to look at my wife and go, "This one's on you." And she's like, "Oh, this is getting expensive." And I was like, "Beers are $8 in the park, and that's on your debit card because I don't have one." And she like took off, and I was like, "Nope, come back. Like, give me the debit card because I'm gonna go get a beer here in a minute, and I need that card." Well, I'm gonna go over here and buy this. Go buy me a beer first, and then go have your fun.
Well, I think a lot of Major League Baseball parks are going cashless. The Detroit Tigers are cashless. The Detroit Tigers are cashless, which is probably why the Whitecaps are, because the Whitecaps are an affiliate of the Tigers.
Yep.
So it's probably a trickle down deal. But this is where it's going, man. I mean, major places like that just don't want to deal with freaking $1 bills and Sacagawea dollars and a bunch of pennies.
But it's so cool to get a stack of $1 coins. It bugs me because this is a society that you can pick. Like I go to a couple first meal places. I can't say that first word. Breakfast places.
Breakfast.
I go to a couple breakfast places, and they're cash only, right? That's how they are. And
No
So-
credit card there, so
Nope.
it's a complete opposite then.
Correct, right?
Yeah.
So it's like granted, I'm known to carry cash. It's a constant thing for me. But then I go to the Whitecaps and it's literally
See, it makes
no,
me
your-
wonder
your
what
cash.
it makes me wonder sometimes at these cashless places, because if you come into our coin store and you pay with a credit card, we're going to charge you 3% on top of whatever the amount of things you buy, because if we don't do that, then we lose our margin.
Yep.
Because the credit card company is going to ding us for using the credit card.
Well, it's saying you're not marking it up enough, right? Build that 3% in just as a general fee, because like you look at it, the government has to run by the book, right? And that's kind of how it works. So you go to the Secretary of State, they build in that 3% fee, and I'm like, how is that even fair? Like you're the one that has to accept. No, we have to accept American currency no matter what the thing is. You can go pay in pennies, and they have to take it. Granted,
Mhm.
you have to pre-roll and have it all signed. And you watch the people that pay their parking ticket in pennies, and it's funny to me every time. But there's companies that try to get around the books, and yeah, we only sold three pieces of bacon today, and it's been a slow year forever.
Well, it makes me wonder too. I mean, you got to believe that these ballparks are being dinged 3% on all of it. So
Average,
if
yeah,
the Detroit,
absolutely.
if the Detroit Tigers, okay, have a home game, and they have 30,000 fans come to their home game, and not a single one of those fans can pay any cash for anything. So how much money is being spent in there on beer, souvenirs, food? It's just a constant, and then 3%, 3% off the top of all of that on that night is gone.
Yep.
Are they, is it making sense?
Oh gosh, yes.
Okay.
Well, part of it is
I paid $7 for this. Well, granted, I think I paid a little more. I paid $7 for this six pack. So now if I go to the Whitecaps, I'm gonna pay $7 for this one. Right. And I get that there's this fee and I have to pay somebody $15 an hour to stand there, but like they're still making a profit, even at the 3% fee. So like their margins are just right. Ballparks. I mean,
yeah,
you
but part of it also is if I'm handing you a $10 bill,
Yep.
that's tangible.
Yep.
If I'm sitting here doing this all day, it's not.
Yep.
Nobody thinks about this.
except for me. I'm the only person that like literally in their head when I do that transaction, I can tell you almost to the next within $1. That's how much I have in my account.
Yeah, me too.
Like that. That's just how my.
But we track those things.
100%. All right.
But most people are out there just sliding it, going, "Yeah, I'm going to pay 18% interest on this pretzel."
Yeah. Just it. And I said chances of getting rid of the penny, we already talked about. So I shouldn't hoard that. Not to you. I want to hoard my pennies. Like, because I think that they're going to be worth 2 cents. And now if I have $1 million in pennies, that's worth $2
Well,
million.
the United States government could just up one day and just say, you know what, we're ceasing the making of the pennies starting in 2023.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. It could happen.
Yeah, I
mean, I don't know. It's
we're $1 trillion in debt. And apparently if it's costing 1.1 cents to make the penny,
We're way more than $1 trillion.
well, I'm just saying, like, that just makes sense to get rid of that, right? Like, I would never offer something that cost me money to make. Like, okay, do it for the first like 6 months to get your business going, but we're America. We're not granted we are a business, but right? Like, stop doing that. Like, you're dumb.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I don't know. I mean, there's not going to be any more. I mean, I guess hard to say, but most pennies that have been minted since the 19 teens, over 100. We're talking pre-World War I.
Mhm.
Okay, they have been minted every year in the 40s and 50s of millions. Okay, go to your Googles and see that. So. You're not basically the point I'm trying to get at is that that's continuing today. So there's not going to be any numismatically rare 1 cent pennies made anymore. It's just it's not going to happen. You're not going to have a 1909 SVDB type cent stamped and minted in 2024. But I mean, I'm not going to knock you if you want to go hoard pennies. Go hoard pennies. I got a guy from Morley Stanwood who calls me every other week who comes down and spends $4,000 in 90% silver.
see,
You know, he wants 50, you know, he wants that silver. He wants bags of that silver because he's absolutely certain that that is the money that we're going to be going back to in order to survive. You know, so, and we have a ton of it. Why? Because we're doing 5 coin collections appraisals a day where we're getting people's 50-cent books and quarter books and dime books. And we just flip all those in, you know, we buy them at, you know, whatever rate we buy them at, put them in the 90% dime bin, 90% silver 50-cent bin, 90% silver quarter bin, and somebody will come and buy those up. It's a never ending cycle. And so, yeah, people can pick whatever they want to do. You know, you're never going to go wrong with 90% silver coins. And whether you believe that we're going to go back to that coinage or not, you're not going to go wrong with it because silver is silver. Okay. And right now the ratio of silver to gold is 88-1. So you have to buy 88 ounces of silver to get 1 ounce of gold. And look, folks, people have been buying, selling, bartering, trading precious metals for 6,000 years. This isn't something that just started 2 weeks ago. This has been going on since before Jesus walked the earth. Okay,
yeah, it's gonna keep.
So I mean, it continues to amaze me that a product that is produced by the earth, somewhere internally in this planet, something happens to make these two metals. You can't make silver. You can't make gold. You have to go mine it. You have to go dig it out of the planet. And that stuff has stood the test of time. Gold was used to back banks.
Yeah.
At one point. And it might go back to that. It might go back to that. The rate we're going right now, it might go back to that. So think about that. You got to dig in the dirt to find the most valuable stuff out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And well, I mean, gold, right? Like it's used in your cell phones. It's a great conductor. It does, you know, high heat. So again, my mind just literally going crazy. Because I came into here off of a hot like working experience. Like now, my mind is still on. I'm loving this conversation. I want you to know that. I'm having such a great time. How often do you find fraud? You kind of mentioned that a little bit. You're like, hey, be wary on buying this VDS.
Yeah, VDB. Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
And how often do you find fraud like coming through this?
Very rare.
Okay. So
which is good to hear.
Yeah.
Because you would think people would come in and try to, you know, they knew that they had fake stuff. And I only know of maybe 2 or 3 times in 7 months that somebody's come in and it's not been real. But we have stuff that tests it. We have a Sigma.
Sure.
And if you're not familiar with that is, but you know, right, you know, it's a machine that will test the purity of whatever the coin is. So we're not just going to give you, if you walk in with a 1 ounce gold coin, you come in with a 1 ounce gold Krugerrand. We're not just going to fork over $1,700 for you and say, have a nice day. We're going to get the Sigma out. We're going to get that thing. We're going to type it into our app. We're going to sync it up and we're going to put in the weight. We're going to put in everything that needs to go into it and we're going to test it. And we'll test it right there in front of you. So you can see if the arrow ends in the green, you have a good coin. If that thing is drifted into the red, you have a fake coin. And then we'll just tell you, like, this isn't real. Well, I can't buy this. We've had some people come in with fake Morgan dollars because those are out there. You can buy an entire set of the 1878 to 1921 Morgan dollars, and they're complete. And the best way to know that is you have to know how much a Morgan dollar weighs. A Morgan dollar, one, you know, has 90% silver in it, and it weighs 26.7 grams. So you throw that
thing up though.
Well, then it's going to weigh a little bit less. It can come in a little bit less or fractionally. I mean, but you know, if you throw a Morgan dollar on a little scale and it weighs 22 grams, you don't even need to look at it again. Or if it weighs 31, 29, that's too much.
Okay. Huh.
So you know, so you got to weigh it. You know, so we weigh it, we test it. You know, especially the extremely valuable ones if they come in, got to make sure they're real. I'm not going to give you $500 for an 79 cc Morgan dollar if it's fake.
You hope not, at least.
Right. So we're gonna test it. We're gonna make sure it's the real deal. And if these people are offended, tough shit. Suck it up. You know, wait a minute. You know, I got this out of my grandfather's collection.
If they don't
this
want it
is-
tested, they
Right.
already know.
Yeah, exactly. You know, most of the people who get all uptight are the ones that are quite concerned about what the truth is about to reveal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then they leave. So, you know, we also buy sterling silver. Sterling silver, if you have like sterling silver,
Necklace.
yeah, whatever. I mean, you know,
Earrings.
flatware or silverware or whatever. The key to sterling silver is this. If you want to know whether or not you have real sterling silver or if you have plated, because you're not going to bring plated to us because we're not going to buy it. Because plated sterling silver is worthless. Yeah, it's going to take too much work to pull all that silver off of each one of those things. We won't buy it, but you need to look at it. If you look at it closely and you see the word sterling on it, or you see the number 92.5, that's the key. 92.5, because that is the purity of pure sterling silver's flatware and silverware. Then you have something real. We're still going to weigh it. We're still going to do all the testing on it, but 3/4 of the battle is over when you see that stuff on it. If you look at your sterling, if you look at your grandmother's sterling silverware set and you don't see any word sterling on it and you don't see 92.5, 99% of the time that's plated. So, you know, you can use it as a doorstop. I don't know. I mean, it's cool to keep as a memory of grandma, but you're not, put it on eBay and start it at 1 cent and let it fly and see what it gets you. I mean, seriously, that's how that would go.
So that kind of brings me to another question. Do you guys melt? Do you guys melt stuff down?
We don't do anything like that. We don't melt it down. We'll buy jewelry, we'll buy the sterling, we'll buy stuff, and we send it off to somebody who will pay it. They want to know.
Okay.
Oh yeah, so people will come in all the time with jewelry, and there's testing that has to be done with that too. Just because something it looks like it's gold isn't gold. We talked about that earlier with the Sacagawea dollars. Yeah, they're gold colored, but there's no gold.
Right.
So Ben has this system where he's got this little rock. He'll take the earring or he'll take the cufflink or whatever, and he'll scrape it on there. It's not going to ruin the jewelry at all. And then he takes acid and he drops it on. And there's specific types of acid that's going to tell you what it is. And if you drop it on there and the acid eats it, then it's not 14K. Or if you drop it on and it doesn't eat it, then it is gold and it's at least 18K. And then you weigh it and you figure out how much you want to pay for something like that. So we don't do a ton of jewelry. Some people bring in the jewelry. We won't turn people away because there's gold and premium to be had there. It's precious metals. So but yeah, I mean, we'll do that too.
Let's talk about precious metals. So what metals or other like things do you guys buy besides gold and silver?
We have in the past, some people have brought in baseball cards. But I mean, when it comes to those, I mean, if you really want to find any premium whatsoever, you've got to go back like 1960 and earlier. I mean, back in the Mantle and Maris and Yogi Berra and all the legends and you get back into the 30s with those tobacco cards. If you find some of those, you're looking at some serious premium.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But most of the cards made from about 1970 to present, I mean, it is just there. I mean, some of them might be a little bit. They were when they were released, but then the 90s came around, and then suddenly Topps Fleer Donruss, who were the only game in town, quadrupled overnight. Next thing you know, there was Score, and there was Upper Deck, and there was Bowman who came back into the game. And all of a sudden in the early 1990s, if you wanted to collect every brand set of every year, you're having to buy literally 8 or 9 brands, and it saturated everything. Now we don't do baseball cards all that much, but if people say they've got some stuff that fits into that realm of 19 60 or back, we'll take a look at it.
You guys are not just coins. I mean, you're just collectibles and.
Yeah, I mean, I've done some, in
Cameras
fact,
and-
one of my buddies called me and said they had some vintage Star Wars stuff.
Hmm.
Well, shoot, dude, I mean, I can appraise that stuff in my sleep.
Say,
I know more about that stuff than coins.
sure.
So he brought it in and I appraised it and bought it all from him and we put it out there on eBay and I think we ended up making $300-400 profit on it, you know? Because people are paying up for that stuff. And but yeah, I mean, you know, we'll look at most anything anybody wants to bring in for the most part.
So I'm gonna keep going because I have a million of these. Say, where do you find the best value? And I guess I mean that in coins, dollars, like, you know, if I wanted to start investing, where should I start? Like, what is my best value that I'm gonna get each?
I think your best value right now for anybody who wants to get into investing in precious metals is silver. I think silver is going to, it's going to pop. And I know that people are like, what are you talking about? It was $26 an ounce back in April and now it's only 20. Well, you know, look at what's happened in the last 3 months. You know, we've had a war break out in the Ukraine that has sucked the life out of everything. I mean, you know, you've had inflation just go crazy over the course of the past, you know, 2 months. What you know, what has that caused? That's caused people to be forced to have to sell off their metals or divest in gold and silver to get cash because you can't use gold to fill up your gas tank yet.
Right.
You need money. So that is what I believe is why you've been seeing metals taking a bit of a hit. Okay. But I think silver right now is an absolute bargain. I think, you know, what you want to do when you invest in silver, you want to stay as close to spot price as possible on anything you buy. Okay. So right now, spot price in silver is $20.40, bro. I mean, I can look it up on my phone right now. Tell you exactly what silver. I'll tell you exactly what silver closed at. I go to AppMax's app. And I'll tell you what silver closed.
AppMax.
AppMax. Yep.
All right.
AppMax. Okay. Silver closed at $20.07. So it actually took a dip late this afternoon. It went down 36 cents. You can see it right there. So if you go to AppMax's app, you get your live spot prices for everything. Gold went down $16.30 this afternoon. It was actually up.
Yeah. Silver
went down 36 cents. And then they also give you platinum, which went down 1970, and of course palladium went down 43 bucks. So you get everything you need right there. So basically, if you just want to invest in silver, my suggestion is you get as close to spot price as possible. You can either buy 10-ounce bars, which are a really good price. We're charging $5 over spot, so $250 for a 10-ounce bar, or you can get generic bullion 1-ounce rounds, not the sovereign stuff, just the generic bullion rounds at $25 a piece. Right now is what we would sell them at. Now, obviously, tomorrow, if silver jumps in the morning, then that's going to go up.
Sure.
So you got to pay attention to that. It might be 20. It might be 25.25 tomorrow morning. It might be 25.50 by the middle of the day. So it just depends on when you want to buy, what you want to get into. And some people some people really like the look of the Canadian silver maple leaf coins. They just love the look of those coins. Well, that's great. You want to buy those? Great. Those are sovereign coins. Those are actual money. Therefore, you're going to pay more of a premium for them. You need to understand that. You're going to pay $2.50 more per coin for that than you would a general bullion 1-ounce round. So silver right now to me is a Kmart blue light special. I mean, it has not been this low since pre-pandemic, and I think it's going to pop. I think it's going to jump. There's a lot of talk out there about solar needing silver. Okay, silver is a great conductor, and if you want to harness solar and do more with solar, then you need more silver. Well, what if you go buy a ton of it? Then if silver is needed, then you have something that's needed. And then when you have something that's needed, what happens to the price of it?
Yeah, it goes up.
So that would be, some people want to get into gold. That's great. If you have that kind of disposable income, great. Most of the people who come into our store who want to buy, 5 ounces of gold or 10 ounces of gold are people who are just cashing out their 401ks. They're afraid of how their retirement's going to go. And they need to get it. They need to diversify. They need to get into something. They need to get their money safe.
I have never regretted anything except for, like, I remember when gold was less than $1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, like you just showed me it was 1,700. Like, I've never regretted anything more than just not going. Right? Like, I mean, cool. Like we're at 26. Or
Imagine if you had bought yourself 10 ounces of gold at $8,000 or at $800 an ounce, which is what it was back. I want to say back in the early 1990s.
Yeah, let's say, and that's like, I mean, even when I was looking at it back in, I don't know. So what year is it? 2022 right now. The 5-6 years ago. I'm telling you, like 5-6 years ago, me looking up, I guarantee it was less than $1,000. Like, because that's when we were buying the silver stuff. And I was like, yeah, whatever. So that brings me to the next question.
I got to tell this because every time you get into fucking gold, I tell this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know how much money I have, but I know how many ounces of money.
How many ounces? Brown swans.
Brown swans.
So you had mentioned, I think it's 88 ounces of silver equals 1 gold or something.
Yeah, you would have to buy 88 ounces of silver to equal what it would cost you to buy 1 ounce of gold.
How often do you find people are playing Monopoly? And by that question, I mean, like, right, I'm buying 88 ounces of silver, I turn it into a gold bar. I mean, do you find that people?
I never see it happen.
Because you talked about the guy
You
who
either pick
buys $4,000 of silver. I mean, he doesn't go 4,000, 4,000, 8,000. Now I have gold, or like. So you don't see people trading up to the next level.
Not often. Okay. I'm not saying that never happens,
but it's not something you see.
It's not something that we see. Sure. Not something that I see. I mean, maybe Ben sees it, my boss, because obviously he does deals that I don't know about. But I have never run into anybody who's come in and said, okay, I have all this silver, I want to trade it right now for. First and foremost, we don't have a whole lot of 1 ounce gold on hand in stock. We have to order it. Okay. So if you want 10 ounces of gold, we can order that for you. We have the money to be able to pull that off. Okay. But it's not in-house right there, right then. And here's another thing that I want to tell you about gold, because we've talked a lot about silver. Okay. So 1 ounce of gold right now, what did we say it was? 1,700 and change? 1767 is what it closed at. So 1767. So
it's an election day. It should have been 1776. God damn it.
It would behoove you more from a financial saving perspective to buy one ounce gold coin as opposed to buying 10 1/10 ounces of gold to get to that 1 ounce. You understand that? So here's why, okay? Because you are paying a major premium on a 1/10 fractional gold coin. You're paying, right now, we are selling those at $235 a piece. So if you buy 10 of those, you're at $2,300.
That's crazy.
Think about that. Think about that. So you buy 10 of those, you're paying $2,300 for 1 ounce of gold.
Yeah.
Where you can buy the 1 ounce coin for 1767.
Huh.
So it depends. It just all depends on what you want to, how you want to go about building. But you have to think about that. You have to really, really think about that. If you want to collect the little stuff is easier to get.
Mm-hmm.
The little stuff is easier to get. It's cheaper. $235 for a gold coin sounds like great compared to 17. But if you want to have gold by the ounce, avoid the fractional. You want to save your money and go after
the full amount,
the full 1 ounce stuff, because at the end of the day, you're going to pay a premium for that. but you aren't going to end up paying $400, in this case, $600 over what you would have paid for the 1 ounce coin if you wanted to do it. So that is a little bit more of advice that I would like to share.
So copper, right? Pennies were made out of copper for a little while. Are you guys buying copper pennies? Is it more or less than wheat pennies?
Well, I mean, pennies were made out of copper until 1982.
Okay.
And then in 1982, halfway through the year, first half of the year they were made of copper. Second half of the year they started making them out of zinc. And if you buy a penny book that has slots in it for the 1982, you'll see several different 1982s because there were just all these different, you have to figure out which one is which, and kind of a nightmare. But
the problem was the next year the '83 Corvette came out. And it's no longer a thing. That's why you have a year and a half worth of it. It's way to go. 82. Gosh, anybody born in '82? You're Kurt. Made the '83 suck. So.
I was born in '77, so I'm good.
What year? God, you're old.
I am old, thank you.
Let's say.
wow. How old are you?
I'm 34 now.
Oh.
Officially, yeah.
In 1977, I was in line to watch Star Wars. So that, how old do you think I am?
I came out.
I was one of those
2 months after Star Wars.
I was one of those guys in the line wrapped around the Cinema 4 in Muskegon, waiting to get in. So yes, I'm north of 50.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, 2 months later I came out and couldn't tell you when I first saw Star Wars, but I can tell you when I saw Empire.
Yeah.
We had that talk in an autograph line.
I know, we did. Yep.
Well, I got to tell you, Brent. I know Nick's going to keep going on and on.
Yeah, it's already 8:45.
Yeah, you're well past your time.
I'm getting texts from my wife, so I probably need to hit the road. But I love this. I hope you guys have me back.
We absolutely will. Hopefully Ben can join us next time.
I'm going to bring him.
Again, I told you before, we just have a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah.
We'll just rifle questions off because every time you answer something, we got 2 more.
Well, I mean, here's, coins, I hope the number one takeaway, whoever's watching this or listening to whatever, check your money. You might have something that's worth more than what you think.
Mm-hmm.
And ask your family if there are coin collections that have been handed down that may have been forgotten about or anything like that, because there's value in that stuff. Even in the foreign coins, I mean, you're going to get $3 for it all, but it's $3 more than what you had.
Right.
If you think about it that way, then it's all about getting ahead, right? It's all about making money, not losing money. And I just encourage everybody to be a little bit more conscious when you go to the gas station and you hand over a $10 bill to buy your Diet Coke or your hot dog or whatever, and the money that you get back, take 30 seconds to just fish through it a little bit and see if you might have gotten lucky and gotten a 1961 dime in there, or maybe you have a star $1 bill. And I guarantee you people have gotten that stuff and they just didn't know it. And it went through the washing machine, or you got the dollar and you just put it in your wallet and then you spent it later on without knowing. And there's, it's out there. It's all live. It's in the wild. You just have to kind of be a bit more of a gatekeeper when you get this kind of cat and just to check it out.
Well, I think one of the things Nick and I have done over especially last, what do we do, this 2 years?
Yeah, two years now.
Yeah, is we collect people that know things that we don't. So, and I mean, I know a lot about collecting certain things, but I don't know a lot about collecting everything. And I'm the type of person, I won't sell anything until I know what the actual value of it is.
Right.
I might sell it at less than what I could get elsewhere, just like you said, to get rid of it. If I bring you a collection, I know I'm not going to get top dollar necessarily if I went and listed everything separately on eBay.
We're the ones having to do that work.
Right.
So we have to back that up to pay for that.
Correct. So I'm paying a premium to have you do that, and I'm getting money, and I don't have to really do any work other than here.
You just have to sit there and listen to me tell you a little bit of history about some of these coins, and you know they're worth something. You just don't know, but you're going to come away financially ahead no matter what. And we're not going to screw you over. If you have a 1909 SVDB in there, I'm going to identify that. You know, this is at least a $700 coin if it's real. Let me get the microscope, let me look at it, and let me figure it out. You know, I mean, it's just, you know, that's the fun part.
Yeah.
And you know, it's fun for the people sitting across from you too, because at the end of the day, if the appraisal is a fun experience, then they're going to refer their friends, if they've got coin collections, to come to us too. They're not going to say, that guy screwed me over. They're not going to screw anybody over. Just know when you come in that, you know, if Grandpa paid $25 for a 1979 mint set, you ain't going to get $25 for that. You know, you're going to get $2.50 for it, maybe $3 if you're lucky. And, you know, I said that, you know, earlier, that's just how it is, you know. I mean, we're going to pay what, you know, most of those types of items just sit on a shelf in the back. If we want to sell those things, we have to break them apart. And that takes time and labor and work. So,
well, you always hope when you're collecting that whatever you collect appreciates in value.
correct.
Sometimes it just doesn't. Sometimes it just drops in value.
Again,
you deal.
If you buy stuff out of a magazine, if you buy stuff off QVC at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're already overpaying. What they're selling that stuff for is obscenely more than what it's worth. And then you're not gonna get a return investment on that when you want to flip it. It's just simple as that.
Yep.
You're here with us for a little bit more.
No, Brent's got.
I tell you what, you can have me for 8 more minutes. I will leave at 9.
3 more questions. That's what I've written down.
All right.
Do you have any more?
I'm good.
All right. So, number 1, we talked about star dollars, star bills.
Yes.
How do I trade in money? So here's a fun story about me. My dumbass gets a $20 bill from my grandma for my birthday. She has a brand new shredder. I take that son of a bitch and I put it in there. I was like, I wonder if it shreds money. It does. So they take it back up, brought it to the bank, and they're like, yeah. So is there a way that I as a person can trade in my money to get a star bill? Or is it only a thing a bank can do?
I don't even know if banks know when they have star bills, and if they do, I don't know if we get phone calls sometimes at the store from bank tellers. Just last week, 2 days ago, somebody from I think it was a Fifth Third bank down here in Byron Center called me. The lady came in with a bunch of Peace dollars and Morgan dollars and Star Note silver certificates. It's kind of funny. The teller didn't know what they were worth, but they look different. They don't look like normal money that they see, because that stuff isn't supposed to still be in circulation. So this old lady was bringing a collection into the bank and just wanted to either deposit it at face value or exchange it at face value. But that teller called me at our store, and I'm like, no, that Red Seal 1963 $2 bill, you know, I'll pay $3 for that right now.
Yeah.
You know, and then she also had Peace dollars, which of course are value of $1, right? 1922 Peace $1 silver dollar. No, I'll give, you know, there's $17 of silver in that coin. I'll give her $19 for it right now. She never came to the store. I don't know whatever happened to that, but at the end of the day, you know, I think I quoted over the phone $67 that we would have paid for stuff that this old lady had brought into the bank. And I think at face value, she probably had less than $10.
Wow.
So you just, you know, I mean, if you want to get a star note, I don't think you can go to a bank and just ask for a star note. I don't think you can do that. I think you have to get lucky, or you got to come to a place like our shop where we have some and we can sell one to you. Now, I'm not going to sell you a star note, a $1 star note for $1.
Sure.
I'm going to sell you a $1 star note in circulated condition for about $1.75. Okay. If it's in super crispy mint condition, like it was minted yesterday, I'll probably sell it to you for $4. I mean, again, condition is also something that you have to pay attention to. If especially with paper money.
We all fold our money. I mean, right? Mine's folded in my pocket.
Oh yeah, mine's folded too.
Yeah. Is it? And that's So we returned our 20, and it was fully taped. They showed a new 20, and they sent it off to be shredded. You can buy shredded bills in like a really cool thing. I had a teacher that had like just a bunch of shredded bills. That's dumb and cool at the same time.
Hopefully it wasn't $500 or $1,000 bills.
No. Number two, since we still have you for a couple minutes. Oh, you're still finishing a beer.
Well, as long as I don't spill it again.
Yeah.
And I might have to pee again too. I'm old, so
that's all right. It's we found out you're over 50. Way to go. We have all generations here. $2 bills, and I think how fun it is because everybody thinks that $2 bills are so special, right? And what do you guys value them at?
$2 bills. Well, they didn't make them from 1963 to 1976, and then they came back out in 1976. So all $2 bills from 1976 to present day are worth $2.
Exactly. Right. So that's the thing. They're still making them today, but people still think.
So here's the thing: 1976. All right, look, it was the bicentennial. It was a rare thing. We're not going to see you might see the tricentennial.
No, have you seen this body?
I'll be so far dead it ain't even gonna be funny.
Let's say.
But the bicentennial year was a big year. 1976, 200th birthday of the United States of America. The quarter had a different back. You remember seeing the quarters and the half dollars and the dollars that came out? They were different that year.
Yep.
The quarter had 1776, 1976, and you flip it over, it had a little Patriot drummer.
I used to collect those just because I thought they were worth.
My grandfather would come home from work every single day, go through his change. If he had bicentennial quarters, he'd throw them in a Hills Brother coffee cup on the counter, and it would just pile up. These are gonna be worth something. They're different. You know what? They're worth 25 cents. Half dollars are worth 50 cents.
Yep.
The Eisenhower $1 coins back then. That was the silver dollar back then.
Yep.
They were the buck. They aren't worth what they thought, but marketers back then took advantage.
Oh gosh, yes.
So you have all of these 1976 bicentennial commemorative sets and proof sets and uncirculated sets and all these special this or that because it's the 200, and they charged people obscene amounts of money for this stuff. And now they're all coming to us because the people who collected that shit back in 1976 are in a pine box, and their kids get it, and they're coming to us, and they are confused as to why that stuff isn't worth what Ed said it was going to be worth.
Well, yeah, because they just know they have millions of dollars.
It's I still go through my quarters and I throw them to the side. Now I will get rid of them because I know they're worthless. But because at some point, it's because it's something I don't see on a daily basis, right? I apparently was made, and so I have a pile of them. Just maybe these are worth some money. I have 26 cents.
I have simplified this for you.
Yeah.
All you need to worry about is 64 and earlier. That's it. That's it. So when you're rolling quarters, that's all you need to think about.
I do on at least a monthly basis. I'm gonna cut open all of my goddamn stuff now that I have rolled because I haven't turned it in. It's been so long since we turned in change. We used to turn it in right before vacations because it was a little extra money.
Yeah.
And now I just have, if I got robbed, it's cool. I just have in front of my TV that I don't use in my bedroom, just a mound of change. So, and we talked about that, the mindset of people who save money and people who don't. My wife has $0 in change. Randomly, she'll throw something out there and it'll go into my cup. So, I save change on a constant basis. So, we talked about these $2 bills. My last question before I finish this up.
Yep.
What's it going to take to get you and Ben back on here?
Oh, I want to get Ben in here. I think he would love this. He's a beer drinker and he can talk about this, and he will take it to a level that I can't even begin to take it. I'll anytime. I don't know. Just call me, text me. Whatever.
This was a fantastic podcast. I want you to know that I've enjoyed myself,
Yep,
David.
had a lot of fun.
know for a fact. Like David knows when I start making notes.
Yeah,
like that.
It's a good guess.
This is because right, like I love the interaction. I love the full honesty of things.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm not a beater on the bush guy. I'm a shoot the shit. Like this is how it is. Like you're not afraid to say, hey, I'm charging $5 over spot. Time is it? We have one more question.
It's
Yeah.
9:01. You better hurry
I
up.
forgot. Yep, 901. Jesus.
My 53-year-old bladder is about to burst.
Quick. How does online stuff impact you? By that I mean, so when I was buying, or when I bought, so I needed to buy for this guy because he had to hide it from his wife, and then he paid me cash. This is a true fucking story. He bought 10 silver rounds, right? At spot price because, like, hey, if you sign up with the website, you get your first 10-pack roll for spot price. Everything else after that was marked up only 50 cents. You guys are at like the $5 mark. And so online, right, like they're very competitive in that aspect. How does online affect you? And what do you guys do to combat that?
Online, I'm not really worried about because you're still paying taxes, you're still paying shipping, you're still paying everything above whatever they charge for spot plus the premium. So my suspicions are you're not going to get a generic bullion 1 troy ounce 999 silver round for $25 shipped to your house. After taxes, after shipping, after whatever other fees they try to rope into that online, you're probably spending about as much as you would buy a American Silver Eagle 1 ounce round or a coin in our store for $32, $33. So we're not really worried about it. There's other coin stores in town. I mean, we don't call around to them to ask what they're doing, but people who come into our store will say, you guys have the best prices. Right now at so-and-so store, they're only, they're buying 90% dimes at $1.40 a piece. You guys are buying them for $1.60. We're gonna sell ours to you.
Sure.
Online, word of mouth gets around. We haven't done any advertising. There's been no, we've had people come to us asking to do it.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, the funny thing is the Whitecaps came to us and wanted us to sponsor their cashless. Grand Rapids coin cashless at the Whitecaps, sponsored by Grand Rapids Coins.
There's an oxymoron.
They came to us in right before the season started in April. I mean, they're looking to sell advertising. I mean, it made sense, but Ben was like, he's gonna wait a year, see how it goes. I mean, I'm not saying that we're not going to do any advertising. I think at some point we will, but right now, word of mouth is getting around. People will come in and say, "Hey, so and so told me to come in here." Well, we know who so and so was because they've been in 10 times.
Yeah,
and then they buy a couple $1,000s worth of stuff, and then they refer, and then it just kind of continues to go like that. So we're not really worried about online competitors. What we'll do here's maybe this is a better example. Okay, somebody wants to come in and they want to buy a 2 ounce bullion coin. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go to either AppMex's app or JM Bullion. I'm sorry, JM Bullion, which is right here. And we will take a look at what they're selling their 1 through 9 price for, which is, if you want to buy 1 through 9, this is what they're selling them each for. Okay, and then we'll come in, we'll sell it, or we'll sell it to them for $10 less than that. So we'll come in under them. And what are you doing when you avoid that? You're avoiding paying taxes.
Yeah.
You're avoiding paying shipping. You're avoiding paying any other fees that JM Bullion wants to build in, because they have to pay for a 5th story, huge inventory and warehouse in downtown Manhattan, New York. So they've got it.
My friends.
Yeah. So they have, So we're gonna beat them. We're gonna beat them all the time. We're not gonna overcharge, go above them, but we'll come in under them, and people will buy from us. So that's kind of how we.
Again, I can't say how much I've enjoyed this episode. It's really, we're gonna talk about it in our year-end type of thing.
We are.
Very much enjoyed this episode. I don't want to give a shout out to Bud Light because fuck you, you haven't sponsored me yet. No, really, like sponsor me because I drink it every goddamn week.
Yeah.
I say like, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for joining us.
Brent, give another shout out to Grand Rapids Coins,
please.
number, address, all that stuff.
Yeah, if you've got a coin collections that you need appraised, or if you have questions about any of your coins, please give us a call. 616-884-5048. We are located if you're local here in the West Michigan area or anywhere in Michigan, we are located at 2745 10 Mile Road in Rockford, Michigan. You can come in anytime. We do encourage folks, if they do want collections appraised, to please call us ahead of time and call ahead seating. Call ahead and we can schedule you on a day and a time, and that way when you walk in the door at, let's say arbitrarily at 2:00 on a Wednesday, then you will get either my undivided attention or Ben's undivided attention, and we will be prepared for you to come in. We will evaluate your collection, and also too, if you want to trade, we do trades. If you want to, the end of the evaluation, you have $2,700 worth of stuff. If you want to trade all that stuff for a bunch of 10-ounce bars, fine. If you want, you diversify, baby. If you want to get out of Grandpa's coin collection when he was collecting all those 1976 quarters, and you want to get into the real stuff that people are doing now, we'll do that too. So by all means,
I'm gonna save my questions for when you come on again.
Yeah, do that.
It's gonna happen. But again, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family, grandmas, we love you. Say come on, and what a great episode. Everybody knows that. I mean, this is a thing that's happened through generations. Like, you got your father-in-laws, which was 5 fucking buckets. You know what I got? Crushed soul. So look, scotch and cheese.
Yes, you do.
But
as always, thank you, Brent, for joining us. Thank you, listeners, for joining us. We'll be back next week. I don't know what the hell we're talking about. Nick and I will figure something good out.
You've dialed in to Box and Brews. You might hear something you can use, like tips on your cash or tips on the suds. You're gonna want to use the smarts of these stuff, cause they know the brews, and they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks. So listen up, cause shit's not funny, and save yourself some beer money. Box and Brews.
Bucks and
Box
Brews.
and Brews.
Bucks and Brews.